Today's guest, we've been waiting on, and we're happy that she's able to finally put it in park long enough to come and be here with us. She is female trucker and that interstate bad girl, Ginger.
Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. Shine on me, and I will find a song. I will sing it just for you.
What type of like hauls will you be on now? So how long have you been doing trucking, and then what type of hauls will you be on?
I've been doing it for about 9 years now, almost 9, March, I think.
Okay.
And we haul just about everything from like Woodford whiskey.
Oh yeah, I love whiskey. I mean, I used to.
We might haul Scott's Miracle Grow dirt.
Oh yeah.
Just depends on who's calling for what, so we haul a lot of AAK, which is like edible oils, oil flakes, or the oil in the bottles, or the hardened grease like the lard stuff. We deliver it to places that use it for baking and cooking.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
So you'll deliver to where, like places in the Midwest, kind of, or?
No, we're mostly east.
Okay.
All the East Coast.
So what's the longest haul that you'll go out on? Like whenever you get you work for, you're a subcontractor, I guess?
No, I just work for the company, just an employee there. And I don't own any of the equipment.
Okay.
I just keep it nice so it, it looks good for parents-wise. But basically, every truck, they've all been good trucks. They haul good stuff. It's not nothing that we've hauled that's been nasty or bad. We do haul some carbide on flatbeds, but I ain't messing with that. So.
And what is that?
It's a chemical that's explosive if it's wet.
So do you get paid more if you're hauling something like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Because that's a hazardous material that you're hauling. You have to have an endorsement on your license to do that. So.
And they'll adjust the plates, like on the back of the trucks. A lot of times you'll see those plates. Will you bring those up?
Those
Sean?
are placards.
Okay. And so what are those plates? What does that mean? What are those?
It's different types of flammables, explosives, corrosives, whether it's gas or fumes, or say if it gets wet, it could be explosive. So it depends on what the material is.
And who adjusts those plates? Like, do you adjust those? Yeah, these are the ones right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you have all of those plates on your car and they're all on your rig and they're all adjustable, or you only have some of those? How does that work?
They're like say you got one of the diamonds, and it turns like cards. So you can pick the one you need, and you'll latch it to where it'll show what it is, an oxidizer, or it's a organic peroxide or radioactive or poison. It'll have that on there.
I see. So it's all built into there.
Yeah.
And do you adjust this, or does the company, whenever you take off with the load, how does that work?
We find out what it is that we're hauling first, and they usually will explain it on your bill of ladings, and it'll tell you what to put on there, which placard you have to have, because you got to have it shown in 4 places, which is the trailer, both sides, and the doors.
Because DOT will pull you over, right?
Oh yeah, they get happy with that shit. They sometimes they get bored.
Oh, I'm
looking
sure.
for some. I had an asshole one time pulling into a way station, literally, and he's standing out there. First time I'd ever seen this, and he kind of looks like just this little short shit,
Like Elmer Fat.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Ugh. He's thumping everybody's tires as you're pulling in. I was like, okay, I'm cool. I'm good. Comes up to me and he's
And what
like,
is he doing? Hitting them for what? Seeing if there's cocaine,
air,
like drugs in them?
to make sure that they're aired up.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess what? I had a fucking flat.
No.
Yeah, drive tire. Didn't even know it. What happened was, as I was pulling in, I ran over a freaking bolt as big as my thumb.
Oh, damn.
So, but it wasn't even hot yet, because when I pulled in and he's showing me, the tire's wiggling off the rim, and I'm sitting there just ready to just scream. So I was like, fuck, hell here, and he's like, well, you can't leave till you get it fixed. So I'm calling the shop and I'm letting them know what's going on, and one of them throws a fit.
One of the guys you work for?
Yeah, I was like, what am I supposed to do?
Damn.
Radar every damn thing on the road today.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Well,
it. Next time I'll dodge the nails and bolts,
We got a bolt at 12:20. Yeah.
No, but got it fixed and rolled on. They didn't give me no ticket or nothing. They can be assholes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And do you find a lot of the officers and stuff that you encounter out there, a lot of them are men or women? Was it kind of mixed out there?
What, the police officers? Yeah. They're mostly men.
Yeah.
Mostly men.
And do they give you think, a different type of interaction because you're a female, or no, you think?
It's mixed. Because I actually got pulled over in Sellersburg, Indiana. Mm-hmm. Had a woman in front of me kept hitting her brakes. And when you're in the truck and you're doing 65 miles an hour, maybe 67, you don't want to be behind somebody that doesn't know where the hell they're going.
Yeah.
You roll right over top of them. Speed bump.
Yeah.
And
like in Mario Kart.
Yeah,
kinda.
no shit. And anyways, I'm, keep getting up on her ass, and I'd back off. She'd stop, and I'd get on her ass again and back off. And we're all rolling. It's kind of busy. We're coming around this, I guess you'd call it like the crossover there, the bridge like. Mm-hmm. There's a cop sitting there. And I had just changed lanes to keep from hitting this woman into the hammer lane.
What is a hammer lane?
That's the fast lane.
Okay.
You're in the middle lane, and I went to go avoid her, and when I went back into the middle lane, he seen it. He pulls me over. And I was like, well,
and how are you looking when he pulls you? Are you looking pretty good?
I was trying to maintain. I'm like, hi, how are you? Mm-hmm. Come on in, have a seat. I was all grinning and shit. And then he's telling me what I did. And I was like, yeah, I said I was trying not to hit her. I said, she kept hitting her brakes. And he's like, I seen that. I was like, okay, you seen it. So
what's going on? This ain't Bumble.
The lips starting to curl. And
yeah.
He's like, well, you was in the wrong lane. Trucks are not allowed in the hammer lanes. You can't go in the fast lane. And he was following too close. Plus, she was doing 67, but I'm not gonna get you for that.
But is that true that you can't? What do you mean you can't go in the fast lane? You're supposed to stay in the right lane.
Trucks are not allowed in the passing lane in the fast lane. It's usually the middle or the slow lane.
So that's if there's 3 lanes.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if there's 2 lanes, you can go in either one.
Okay, but if there's 3, you're not supposed to get into the far left lane.
No.
Ever.
No. Wow. I actually got a ticket, not a warning, a ticket in Bartow, Georgia.
Did you deserve it?
Well, it was my fault. I was in that damn lane.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, it's hard to do.
But at the same time, there was an asshole Volvo driver.
Oh.
Okay, he's in the middle lane.
Story of my life,
He's
dude.
driving up the hill, right? He's taking his dear sweet time.
Taking his time, dude. Yeah.
Slow
Probably
lanes
Ameritrading on his phone.
I'm getting pissed.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know what? I was like, fuck this. And I got over and got in the hammer lane, started flying up the hill, right? Well, this peckerhead decides he's going to speed up. So we're both racing nose to nose up this hill. We get top of the hill. There's a state trooper in the median. Lights immediately go on. I looked over at that fat guy. I wanted to shoot him in the face. I was just aggravated. I was like, fuck. So I knew he was coming. As soon as I seen them lights come on, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
So I backed off. I let the fat man go. I got over into the slow lane in the shoulder. The cop comes over. He's a younger guy. He's all buff and big, and he's got an attitude. Because he opens the door, and he's looking at me like, well, you gonna say something or what? And I was like, He's like, you know why I pulled you over? I said, yeah, probably because I was in that damn hammer lane over there. And he goes, yeah, it's clearly marked that trucks are not allowed. I said, but I was trying to pass that fat guy in the Volvo.
He didn't care?
Hell no.
He wrote you up.
He wrote me a ticket.
Nice.
He's like, you got to pay this.
Come on.
And I called him the day that I got the ticket. And I was like, can I go ahead and pay this now and get it all, get it off my back? And no, it's not even in the computer yet, honey. You're going to have to wait.
Isn't that so ridiculous? Like, you got to wait 9. And they try to get you, I think, so you'll forget about it, kind of.
Yeah, so they can fine you some more.
Yeah. You got to wait till it snows. License. One time they told me you got to wait till it snows. You can't pay it till it snows outside. I'm like, what in the fuck is even going on?
What the fuck does that got to do with anything?
Yeah, I need to pay this damn ticket.
Who gives a shit what it's doing outside? I want to pay this.
We got a question from a caller right here. This isn't live, just so you know. This is a video someone sent in. Let's take this question here for Ginger.
What up, Theo? This past weekend, what up, female trucker guest? Wanted to ask, do you ever cut people off out of revenge? I see it all the time on the road. I feel bad. You guys get cut off a lot. My wife's cut you guys off. She felt bad about it. But yeah, we know there's a lot of road rage, especially here in California, Central Valley, California. We love you over here, by the way. Okay. But yeah, do you cut people off out of revenge? Gang, gang, honk, honk.
There you go, Ginger. You're on the hot seat right now.
I'll be straight up honest about that. I've wanted to. And there's times when it's like, I'm going to show you.
Oh, some little rich bitch in a damn...
Oh, no. Sometimes it's other semi-trucks.
In a damn Lexus, whatever.
And it gets kind of scary sometimes. And
Oh, it's other semis.
yeah, it's cars as well, semi-trucks. It's not like it used to be.
So because when I was growing up, I always felt like there was a strong sense of camaraderie. I grew up in my neighborhood. Everybody had like a ham radio, or what is it called? CB.
Like a CB radio? Yeah.
So my
we still
mom
got
used to
those.
date
I got 'em
women
in my
that had
truck.
date men that had CBs, and so we always had CBs around. Everybody in our neighborhood had a CB in their car.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you weren't doing anything, you just go sit in your car and just talk to people going by on the interstate.
It's not like it no more.
And it would seem like there was a lot of camaraderie between the truckers out there. It's not.
You could actually be coming up on traffic. It's stopping, back bumper to bumper. All you see is brake lights. And you'll get on the radio and be like, hey, has anybody got their ears on? Let me know what's going on up there. Well, can't you read the goddamn sign? It was only about 10 miles back. And it's like, shut the fuck up. I just ask a simple question, and it starts getting heated.
Really?
So, yeah. And I told Jeffrey, I said, my son, I got the benefit, It's like I've been in the truck before and honestly be holding the steering wheel like, I got the power, and turn it off.
Oh, you can just shut it down.
I have to listen to you, bitch. I'll turn this thing off. And it's the people are rude. Just rude.
So there's not a sense of camaraderie. There's not as much of a sense of
It's
camaraderie.
almost cutthroat anymore. And I didn't see that when I was a kid, when my dad was driving. Because back then we were allowed as kids, me and my two brothers. We would climb in the back seat of the back bed of the pickup truck, ride down I-65 to Deems Lake in Indiana, go swimming and stuff, and get back in the in the pickup and ride back. Do all this to all these trucks. Hey,
it was part of life. Yeah.
You don't hardly see that anymore. And then people cutting you off all the time. But no, you got to think of it. My teacher told me this when I was in school. Every vehicle, whether it's a semi, a car, motorcycle, whatever, picture little kids in it. So that gets drilled in your head. Like, it's almost like a mental picture you have right off the bat.
But if them little kids is assholes, if they're on their Kindles.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them, and like pick their nose, throw boogers at, they can be mean, but most of the time the little kids are just got the little fist going, and you're just laying on. I've scared the shit out of bus drivers.
Oh, yeah?
That's fun.
It is?
Yeah.
What kind of bus are you talking? Are we talking Greyhound or are we talking just...
School bus.
Oh, yeah, anybody could do
With
that.
little kids. You got a whole row of little kids all grinning at you, staring out the window. You're riding right alongside of them, and you're a woman too. So little kids, kind of just little more.
Yeah.
And I'm just giving that horn hell, entertaining them. And the whole time the bus driver's like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. I was like, oh, sorry, going past her, waving. And then finally she right up alongside of you. She'll toot her horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kids are having a ball, so.
Do some trucks have better horns than others? Actually, let's go to this question. We got a question right here that came in from a fellow that's staying safe.
Sup, theovons, brother Mal, real Nick Davis. This is Jordan from up in Portland. Sorry about the face mask. My server's about to be here to take my order. Got a question for the truck driver. This signal here, do you recognize that? When I was a kid, we used to do it all the time to get the semi-truck drivers to honk their horns. Do you see that anymore? I haven't really seen kids doing that these days. I haven't done it, so let me know. Thank you for your service. Appreciate you. Gang, gang.
Gang.
That's
yeah, we
sweet.
don't see a lot of... I'm not on the roads that much.
Right.
So when I used to drive to comedy club, have to drive around to them and stuff, I would be on the roads a lot,
Right, right.
So I'm not on the roads as much. But that's a good question. Do you still see it?
Sometimes, yeah. And I've actually had adults that have rode along, young adults that have rode up alongside of me and get me to do that. And they'll start clapping and they're like, yeah. It's like, yeah.
Just reliving their past a little?
Yeah, I guess. That or just, like to hear the air horns blow.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot different than the city horn. It's toot toot.
So
what
there's
the hell
different...
is that?
So you have different horns in there?
Two.
Okay,
Yeah.
take me through that.
One's an air horn. That's the string one that you pull.
Okay. And
That's
is it
the
a real
super
string? What does it look
Yeah,
like?
it's a string.
Okay.
And it just pulls it. I guess it releases from the what do you call them? Hydraulics.
Yeah.
And it just blows through, and it creates like a train sound. Sounds like a train engine.
Okay.
It's cool.
How many are there? A lot of women out there in the sport?
No, I've seen more since I was a kid, but it's still like a 50-to-1 ratio.
Wow.
It's still over. It's men dominated. That's just the way it is. You're going to do it. You're going to have to blend in with them. You have to.
And what does that mean when you say blend in with them?
Well, do you mind the story?
No.
A little story? Okay.
I got time for it.
Example, to blend in, you would take, things that they say as insults, cry about it, get upset,
Okay.
kind of pucker up like a girl, mousy, why did you say that? What?
There's no room for that.
Right. There's not. And, I'm walking up to the truck stop and I was getting fuel. I wanted to get some coffee. So I walk in and this big guy opens up the door for me and he's like, nice tits. Mm-hmm. And I looked over at him and I was like, nice tits. And I walked in and he had bigger boobs than I
He
did.
Yeah. He had some freaking heaters on him, huh?
Oh. Yeah, I have to do that to, I'm walking out with hot dogs. Mm-hmm. And this guy's like, you want to come in and see my hot dog? I got a hot dog for you. And I was like, will you shut the hell up? I said, I'm going to go eat my lunch before I throw up on it. And then just went to my truck and ate my hot dogs. Yeah.
Now, part of it's obviously that's messed up, but at the same time, part of it's kind of funny, a little bit.
It is funny. And you people watch a lot, too, especially when you're sitting, you got a 10-hour break. Mm-hmm. You can drive 14 hours. 11 of that's driving, 3 hours is on duty, not driving.
Okay, so what does that mean? Take me through some of that. So the rule is you can drive for how long?
11 hours.
11 hours straight?
No. Yeah, you can drive up to 8, but before the 8, you have to take a 30-minute break.
Okay.
Before the 8. Once you took your 30-minute break, it'll reset it to where that you've got extra time to drive. Mm-hmm. And you usually approximately have maybe 4 to 5 more to drive and you're done. And it can't total any more than 14. That's on duty, not driving, is usually like fueling, washing your truck windshield off, or any repairs that might be needed. That's on duty.
Okay, and so you might drive 7 hours, and there's 5 hours, and then say, okay, I'm going to take my half-hour break.
Yes.
I'm going to take a half-hour break now.
Yes.
And then how much more can you drive before you have to take another break?
You'll only be allowed maybe 5, maybe 6 more. It just depends on, how you run before. And once that happens, you have to take a 10-hour break.
Okay, so I'm just because I'm not good at a lot, so I'm going to ask again. So out of 14 hours, mm-hmm. you can only drive 11 of them.
Right.
And then after that 14-hour space,
right,
you have to take a 10-hour break.
Yes. Okay, so
within 14 hours, you need to take 3 hours break.
Yes.
Total. And then after that, you need to take a 10-hour break.
Yes.
Okay. And is that good because you're glad to have the breaks, or is it bad because you're trying to make time?
No, when you take your 30-minute break, it's actually, you can break anytime you want, actually. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I'll stop after I've drove about 4 hours, and I'll take a 15-minute break just to stretch my legs, get out, walk, maybe get a drink or pee, and then get back in the truck. You drive another, say, 3.5 more hours before the 8's up, mm-hmm. and I'll take a 30. That's when I'll have my lunch, or I'll play a video game on my phone, or just walk around, anything.
Oh, because before 8 hours, you have to also take a break?
Yeah, you have to.
Okay.
That's the law required. It has to be a 30-minute break.
Okay, so within every 14 hours, you can only drive 11.
Right.
And every 8 hours, you have to take a break.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes. Then once you pull over for the night, and it's time to take your 10-hour break, you can rest area or truck stop. There's times when I've pulled over onto a ramp, mm-hmm. As you're getting back on the interstate. That way, when I wake up, I can just take off.
Keep it
and
cruising.
Go.
Yeah, a lot of times, you will see trucks that are just right there on the side.
Yeah.
I always wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
I usually thought sex or drugs.
No, not for me. I'll pull my curtains. I got the truck running out to set my temperature where I want it. Especially I like the AC on. Mm-hmm. So I'll dim all my lights inside and make sure my doors are locked. And depending on the area, sometimes I'll actually use my seatbelt, latch it over the door handle, and lock it.
Oh, I like
so
that.
You can't open the door no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And then once that, you get back here, pull the curtain, pull back my covers. I got my microwave. I got a Keurig for coffee. I got a TV set up in there, put DVDs in it, or I've got a cord that hooks up to my iPhone, mm-hmm. and I can watch movies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got home movies in a little cabinet that I can watch, and I'll sit back here and eat, smoke a cigarette, watch TV, and set my alarm, go to bed. That's it.
And so now, are there times that you will now? So I'm guessing that your truck has a facility, a space in there you can get some rest.
Oh yeah, plenty. It's actually got bunk beds in there.
Okay.
The bottom one is like a full to twin.
Can you pull that up for us on Freightliner cabin, or what would we bring up? You think what we?
Just inside cab, Freightliner, and look up maybe bunk or sleeper berth. That actually would be better. Look up sleeper berth. And it'll show you this because you got a bed up the top that you can fold back against the wall if you're not using it. So it leaves that space open for you. Or you could pull it down if you had somebody with you and you stop, you let them hang out up there and sleep. But you don't put them up there while you're driving.
Right.
Because they could actually fall out.
Yeah, that sounded a little risky. Now, which one of these do you think seems like yours here, Ginger?
Okay, see the bed with the red? Yeah. It's kind of like that inside.
Okay.
Because it's got the bunk beds and it's got cabinet space, and then I've got a spot for the microwave. Refrigerator's right underneath of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. You got enough room. That's where I actually learned to dance for his wedding. It was in my truck.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't be with me and him to learn the dance together, so I practiced inside of my truck.
So Jeff sent you a video and showed you how to do it?
Well,
or?
it was part of the movie Pulp Fiction.
Oh, wow.
Where John Travolta and what's her name? What's her name? Shit.
Karen.
It was Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman.
Yeah, when they danced together in that restaurant they were at. That's what me and him did as mother and son for his wedding. Yeah.
So you learned that in your truck. So you could stand up and learn that in there.
Oh yeah, there's enough room in that cab to do that.
And so now there's a lot of, there it is right there. That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's awesome,
And
man.
I was learning that in the truck because most of it is just the twist. So you're not flailing yourself all over the place. You could get hurt in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, and for people that don't know, your son is Jeff, right? And he came in the podcast a while back, Breasty Jeff, right? And he had long, I guess, just extra meat on his breast.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I hate it for him.
But hell, man, pretty cool, really, kind of, in some ways. But a really great guy, and he's kept in touch with the podcast, and it was awesome that he just kind of, he's like, oh, I know a woman who'd be perfect for this.
Yeah, he told me about it. And I was just ecstatic. I was like, really? Me? Because you kind of like you feel like the little kid at the school. Somebody picked me? It's me? Cool.
It's cool. Yeah, my mom delivers now just for Amazon, but she's always been like a hard worker, always been, did her own thing, wanted to work for herself. And it seemed like you kind of have some of that attitude,
Well, I like the trucking thing.
You do?
Yeah. But I started it a little later than most.
Because you wanted to have children first?
Yeah. Well, I had my kids first, and that was the most important thing.
And what were you doing during those years?
Staying home and trying to maintain the bills and taking care of them. And it was good. It was financially tough as hell.
Yeah.
Being pretty much single. But it got by. We got by. So
yeah.
And then I told them, I was like, when I get, stable, things will be better. And it has been. Money's great.
It's a good job.
Oh yeah. $1,200 a week, bring home after taxes.
Oh wow, that's great.
Is nice money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you gonna do tonight, you think? Maybe your ladies at the house and it's y'all relaxing. Y'all watching a movie, Jaws or something. And suddenly she wants a couple crab legs or something like that. She's hungry for something she saw in the film, She's hungry for a little bit of carp or a salmon. How you going to treat her right? I'll tell you how at Grubhub. And especially now that Grubhub has Grubhub perks. That's right. Grubhub, first of all, has all the food you love from your favorite local restaurants. It's nice to know that every Grubhub order earns you points towards a future free Grubhub order. That's right, with Grubhub perks. Grubhub, grub what you love. Woo, ooh. Oh, sorry. Winter is coming. I think a cold ghost just passed right through my body and just delved right out my nuts. And what I'm talking about is Manscaped. What you don't know about Manscaped is that if you don't have proper body hair on your body, air can get trapped in you. You might get a cold pocket of air trapped near your crotch, trapped near your nuts or thigh. You don't want that. With Manscaped, you can trim accordingly. Trim the hair on your body so wind patterns can pertinently migrate across your skin. Manscaped has the new Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. It's waterproof with advanced skin-safe technology. Oh, there's nothing worse than Santa nipping his own sack. You don't want it. The Weed Whacker is that ear, nose, hair trimmer. Sometimes you see somebody's stepdaddy and they growing a damn, their ear look like a damn fern because of hair. And you can defeat that now with Manscaped. You got smelly feet. Manscaped can help with their foot dust or foot deodorant made to fight otters. Fight otters from the dirty feet. You want to smell good everywhere? Good. Because Manscaped also has a refined cologne. It's time. Get it for a friend. Get it for a loved one. Get it for somebody you don't even love. Get it for some little asshole in your family. Anybody can enjoy Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/Theo, and you can support the podcast. Get some people in your family Manscaped. Get them. You can't be having your man unscaped. Sometimes you see an unscaped man out there get his hair tangled up in a damn power line. He get a Hulk tangled up in his damn hair. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/Theo. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com/THEO. Be sure to join the Manscaped movement. We do a lot. We don't do a lot, but we try and do some stuff for, we admire hardworking women and
I do work my ass off.
Yeah. So where do you think that work ethic came from, you think?
Actually, not having nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing gets handed to you. And
Yeah.
if it does, there's a catch to it.
Oh, there always is, isn't there?
Yeah. There's always that catch. So for me to have something, got to work. And once they were old enough and I didn't need babysitters and, diapers and bottles, and they could pretty much, once they're in high school, take care of themselves.
Oh, once they can make a pot of macaroni, you can do what you want to do.
Well, he's a good cook. My oldest boy, Jeff, he's a good cook.
He is?
Yeah, yes, he is. So he helped out a lot too. So, yeah, it went good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was there another line of work that you wanted to get into? It was always trucking. I know you mentioned that from growing up. You said from your dad was in the business. Was there another line of work that you thought about?
Not really.
Yeah.
I did try a concrete mixer.
You drove one of those?
Yeah. It didn't go very well.
Wow,
I started in November. And the old chutes that you use to let the concrete roll down were like 45 pounds a piece.
So you had to hook that.
Yeah. And you pick up each one, there's 4. And what I'd have to do is set it down long ways, drop down to my knees, let it drop on my shoulder, then kind of stand up from a squat, and then walk it across and hook it, and then do each one that way. And then I had to learn how to back up the truck and work the chute at the same time without overloading or spilling concrete.
Damn.
The people that are working by the hour, sweetest people ever. Take your time, we're good.
Yeah.
But the white collar, that was actually like the suit and tie people standing there watching you, you spill a drop and you're a piece of shit. Get the hell out of here. You don't know what you're doing. And
and so you just pull up to job sites where it's been ordered.
Yes.
The concrete, and you say, "Look, I got this load. We're ready
pouring
to rock."
footers to a person's driveway or sidewalk.
So now, what was the first one you said?
Which?
Not the sidewalk. The other one.
Oh, the driveways, people's personal driveways, or their little garages or footers at buildings. Like
Okay.
they're getting ready to start a big mall or something. And there's some tubes that go in the ground, and you got to be filled with concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could handle those. So are there some jobs you couldn't handle with concrete where it's like they needed like part of a wall done?
Yeah,
You're
when
like,
somebody ordered some concrete, I was actually there for this. There was another concrete truck that beat us to the place, and it was in a residential area. He drives into their yard and sinks.
damn.
Yeah. So all the concrete, it sunk up to the tank. So the tank couldn't stir. And if it can't stir, then the concrete will set.
Damn.
Well, it set in the truck. So all that got wasted. They'd have to jackhammer all that out of there.
Really?
Then they had to call a tow truck to get the truck pulled out of this person's yard that they damaged.
He's fired.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, it seemed like a lot of extra risk on that job. Then there's just so many other variables where you could, lose your nut for the day.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's one mistake. I mean, a heavy truck like that with having liquid in it, there's that surge. You make a turn and it'll surge to the right.
Oh, because of that volume of that
surge to the left.
the weight of that
You
cement
go to
moving.
stop and it'll push the truck forward. Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, it almost makes me damn erect. That sounds freaking kind of sexy. Was it a little?
No, I actually like the semis because in November when you start out and you're like spraying the truck down, and it's November, you're getting wet. I don't care where the fuck you stand. They'll say, "Oh, downwind." I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." You got to get back in the truck. You peel all your clothes off. You put them on top of the heaters, and you got to let them warm and dry out before you get to the next stop.
And this is in a rig, huh?
That's in the semi or the concrete
Cement mixer.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you'll just drive in your underwear?
You could, but no.
Put a t-shirt on or something?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to, because I've sat and drove in my pajamas, and the old school truck drivers get pissed off about that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You're supposed to be in blue jeans and cowboy boots and a tucked-in flannel shirt.
And now, is that an actual protocol you're supposed to be in?
No, that's just the older school, the older guys. The older ones that's been driving 40 and 50 years.
Yeah.
That's the way that they did it. That's the way you should do it. Too many people out here wearing pajamas.
Yeah. Somebody out here in damn Pokemon freaking onesie.
Exactly.
That ain't a real trucker. Yeah.
Flip-flops and pajama bottoms and, or they'll come out with...
Eating caviar. That ain't a real damn
I
trucker.
seen this lady get out of a truck one time, and I don't know how in the hell she drove like that. Her fingernails were like 3 inches long.
Damn.
She had on all this jewelry. She had this huge weave. She had on this fancy white outfit. The whole outfit was white.
Oh, wow.
You got to reach under the fifth wheel. You've got to touch greasy, dirty shit. And it's like, how in the hell is he high heels that look like they're 6-inch spike boots?
How could you do that?
You can't.
Yeah.
I wear tennis shoes like these.
Maybe she had a sidekick with her.
She got out of the truck by herself. Usually you'll see somebody in the passenger seat, or you'll see the truck move around if there's somebody in the cab.
Okay.
But you didn't. She just got out, and I was like, ooh, fancy pants. Alrighty then.
Now, are there some fancy ladies out there on the circuit? What do you guys call it? The circuit? When you're out, just out the run, like when you're out on the...
When you're on route,
OTR, or just what do you call it?
It's just hauling, and you're en route. You got destinations such as your pickups and deliveries, and you'll deliver here, and then you'll go somewhere else, clear across the country to pick up. Mm-hmm. That's deadheading. That's empty.
Okay.
And then you'll go pick up there, and then you could deliver somewhere else. Or we bring it to the yard sometimes and just drop it for the local guy to take it.
And what's the yard? Prison, you mean?
No. No, it's the yard's like where our company is. That's where our trailers are. Our trucks are all at, where the office is. The shop where they fix the trucks.
Oh, that's cool.
We call it the yard. Yeah.
Man, I bet my mom would have loved doing that job. She just likes working for herself. She likes, I
do too.
Yeah.
Not having a boss standing over top of you 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Worrying about what you're doing, where you're at, when you're coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a level of proof in your line of work that, like, I want to prove to men that I can do this, or it has nothing to do
you're
with...
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Women have it, I think, in my opinion, a little harder because we have to prove that we can drive.
Right, which is notoriously been misproven by women.
Right. Especially in semi-trucks. I mean, we get picked on for driving
Oh,
cars.
especially in South Korea, actually, also. Are there any, and I'll just ask point blank because that's all I know is, but are there any Asian truck drivers? Have you seen any?
Men.
Yeah.
Men.
Praise
never
God,
see
we gotta
Asian.
get that.
Never see Asian women driving. Never.
Yeah, I think...
Always the men.
Always the men.
Yeah, and they're tiny.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They're so tiny.
Little jockey, little engine jockey.
Just little tiny guys.
Oh, yeah. Little 9-pound fella.
Yeah.
Little chin yam right here. He weighs 19 pounds.
A little rice bit. Yeah.
Yeah, just cruising. Yeah. It's a pretty... Now, I believe that the truck industry is getting pretty diverse. There's a lot of Middle Eastern truck drivers now.
Yes, there is. Yeah, and to be honest with you, everybody that I have ever seen or out there that's different, the towels and the beards. Mm-hmm. That's not a terrorist. That's a truck driver.
Right.
He's gotten out and actually helped me before, spot me and getting in a spot, just by, there was no word communication at all. He's just helping me out.
Right.
I didn't ask him. He just volunteered and done it.
Yeah.
I'm driving down the road, I see them, and they're like this, just a waving, and it's like, hey, what's up?
It's a pretty diverse sport, though, these days,
yeah,
kind of.
Yeah.
Because you would think, especially when I was growing up, it seemed like it was just a white man kind of did it, you know? Or a black man, white or black man
You
did
see
it.
a lot of black men driving. I see some black women driving.
Yeah.
It's mostly white women driving because you don't see a lot of diverse women,
Right.
different country women driving. And it's usually just white,
Yeah.
or black.
Well, I
see
remember, too, man, they had a lot of...
Hispanics, a lot of Hispanic drivers.
Oh, yeah, huh?
A whole lot. And like I said, a lot of foreigners that can't even speak English.
Like Middle Eastern guys?
Yeah.
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 Because I remember reading an article a few years ago that about the growing population of Middle Eastern men that were driving long haul.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. And I guess it was because they also were buying a lot of the service stations and stuff as well. So I think they're just, one business kind of led to the other, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It could have possibly.
Let's take a question right here. We got a question from a beautiful young fella right here.
What's going on, Theo? Big fan, been listening for a while, and I got a question for the female trucker across from you. So MIT or somebody did some sort of study on female truckers and found that on a scale of 1 to 10, they ranked 4.4 on how safe they felt on the road. So my question is, what's the scariest moment or interaction you've had as a female trucker?
That's a good question.
And how safe do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 on the road? Big fan, Theo. Gang, gang, honk, honk.
Gang, brother. Oh, that's crazy. 2 people did Hong Kong?
Yeah.
What are the odds of
Honk,
that?
honk.
Yeah. That's a great question. Yeah.
Yes,
What's the safety like out there?
It depends on where you're at, actually. There's some places, truck stops that I've stopped at, and I didn't know it at the time. Mm-hmm. But I was told once I got back, obviously it just didn't matter, that I could have got shot there.
Damn.
Mugged.
For being a female, or just anyone?
Just anyone, but also a female. That's the bigger target.
Right.
You're weak, defenseless,
Oh, yeah. If I see 7 or 8 people out, wandering around at night,
well, what
and
if
one
you
of them's
see
a
a
female,
woman
I'm going to shoot
walking
the woman.
around? Sometimes those
no,
drivers actually think that you are a lot lizard,
Oh, yeah.
and you drive a truck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And but that would go against the grain, really, to be a lot lizard that also drives. Or do you think they have that?
Yeah, I think they do. I've actually heard about that.
Yeah?
That there are women that will charge to sleep around in truck stops
Make
while
an
they're
extra
driving,
$500 at
and
night.
they're making an extra, buck on the side.
Yeah.
Hell no. I've seen some of the shit walking around out there.
You wouldn't hook up with it, huh?
Hell no.
Now, do they have so you said some of the truck stops can be kind of shady.
Yes.
Is there do you feel like, is there moments where you feel like scared, like you go into a place, it's nighttime, you're walking back to your truck? Do you guys usually park a distance away from the service station?
I try to keep everything I need in the truck. Mm-hmm. So the only time I have to get out is for fuel, or if I have to do a pre-trip. Mm-hmm. And you check your truck before you go. Now, there's been times that I've gotten out and literally been so scared that I'd run back before my pre-trip was finished. Just that creepy, ominous gut feeling that somebody's watching you.
Yeah. Now, take me through one more time the pre-trip. What is it?
It's when you get out and your truck's running, you check your oils, you check all your fluids, you make sure your turning signals work, the pressure in your tires, make sure everything's just smooth, and you walk it. And you make sure your airlines are all hooked up.
So you walk your truck, you check everything?
Yes, everything. Make sure the doors are still locked and loaded, fastened, and then come back around, and once it's all done, usually it takes about 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you want to check everything. Now, do you use a pressure gauge when you're checking the tires?
No, usually I'll just thump them. I'll
Okay.
take a hammer and hit them. Now, you can tell the way it bounces off that they're pretty full. Mm-hmm. But if you hear a thud and it doesn't bounce, usually that means it's flat or it's going flat.
Okay.
So it's kind of like what you look for.
And how many wheels do you actually have on it?
18.
Damn.
18.
I knew it.
Oh, yeah. 2 steers. So you got 2, 4, 6, 8 drives, and then the rest are all trailer.
So what do you mean? So you got 8 drives, 8. So it's an 8-wheel.
Yeah.
So it's 8-wheel drive.
Yeah. Well,
And-
it's one. It's yeah. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, no, it's tricky. 'Cause
Yeah, no, it's if he could pull up a picture
up
of
a
the
picture
trucks,
of it, that Freightliner
you can
again.
actually count because it is 18 total. But I'm trying to I got a brain fart going on here. Yeah, there you go. There was a perfect picture right there.
Okay, there's a bottom of
See?
this one.
Up there at the top. Mm-hmm. Next to the red one. There you go. That's it.
So those are
1,
your
2, 3, 4. Yeah, you got the 8 drives total.
8 drives.
Yes.
and the 10 are just trailer?
Yeah.
Wow. So now if you take the trailer off, then you're an 8-wheeler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's 10 on the cab, honey.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. 10 total. You got 2 in the front and then 8 in the back. So it's 10 on the cab.
Okay, so
And then
2
you
in the
got
front,
8 on the
8
trailer.
I
Yeah.
see.
That's where I was trying to think something don't sound right. Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking you had 4 in the front. I really went wrong there.
Yeah, you got 2 steers.
2 up front and
Yeah,
then 8
the
on the
8.
back of the what is the whole
It's
front?
called a bobtail.
A bobtail.
Bobtail. That's your whole cab with no trailer.
Okay.
It's a bobtail.
So that's the bobtail.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, so you get to a service station, you do your pre-trip.
Before you take off.
Before you take off to what? Leave or to go into the service station or whatever?
No, it's before you leave. Like if you're fixing to take off anywhere.
Okay.
Like you just got a new load you're getting ready to take off with. You picked up. Or say you're waking up in the morning after your 10-hour break. That's when you really want to check it. Because there's people that will unhook your airlines while you're sleeping.
Damn.
Or they'll pull your 5th wheel pin.
Why?
And if just to be a jerk. And if they pull that pin and you take off and you ain't checked it, your whole trailer will drop right off.
And your cables will still be hooked and ripped?
Oh, yeah. They'll rip right out. Yeah.
That happened to me at the gas station all the time. I'll put that gas in, fill that bastard up, take off, baby. It costs you $170. Yeah. I'll tell you that. Praise God. I've spent almost $800 ripping them bitches off. And you don't get to keep the thing. You got to give the thing back.
Yeah, they always want that little pump thingy
What?
back.
I done
yeah,
paid
and the
for this
hose.
bastard.
Yeah, they went with it. Yeah.
Oh, just hateful, man. It's big business, you know.
We've seen trucks that like them so much they've took them with them too. That's
Oh,
kinda
yeah, I
funny.
can
Yeah.
imagine.
We want a souvenir from the truck stop. Yeah.
How long does it take to fill up a truck when you go to fill up gas? And are y'all on diesel? What do y'all run on?
Diesel fuel.
Okay.
Diesel fuel only, and then you've got the DEF, which is diesel efficient fuel, and it smells like cow piss.
Is it 2 different types of fuel?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about that. So can you pull into just like a Exxon and get some gas or no?
No, because our company uses the points for pilots and flying J's.
Okay, so you pull into those specific stations.
Yeah. Well, now if it's emergency fuel, we can use a TA or a Petro or a Love's, but he prefers us using those because
Right.
he gets extra bonus on the points.
Right.
So we go there and use those, and it usually takes about 10 minutes to fuel it up completely, and I think it's 250 gallons total.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, dude, if you get in an accident, you're gonna die.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you're,
You're going swimming in some diesel fuel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
When you do a lot of are there a lot of swingers out there on the road? Because I would imagine couples go ride together sometimes. Do you see that?
Yeah, there's husband and wife teams a lot. And when I started, I had male trainers.
Okay.
For me, it was easier just to listen to a guy. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think 2 girls cooped up in a truck is a good idea.
Oh, well, there's 2
Yeah,
women
it's
died
you.
that did it in that damn movie. Remember?
Yeah, Thelma and Louise.
Them bitches died, man. So you probably right about that, you know. But yeah, I think I won't even have the if there's someone is driving me in an Uber or anything like that, and they have the female voice on the phone, I'll have
annoying
them
as
turn it
hell.
off or change it. It reminds me of my mother's voice, I think, or just reminds me of some lady
Mine
squawking.
is Tom.
It's
and
Tom?
I told Fama I was going to fire his ass several times. Yeah. For getting me in places I ain't supposed to be with a semi-truck. Yeah. Tom, you're an asshole.
Do you keep the voice on the whole time? Do you shut it down?
No, I
sometimes?
have to shut him off.
Yeah.
He gets on my nerves. I
Yeah.
wanted to sling him out the window before.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
speed warning, speed warning, speed warning. So hell no, shut up. Yeah.
How fast can you go in the rig?
72 is the top speed.
There's a limit on it.
Yes, it's governed. It's as
Okay.
fast as it'll go. Now, if you're going downhill, that's a different story.
You can get it in neutral and let it open up.
You can just leave it in the gear. It's in 10th gear, but if you're heavy and you can't control it, stopping doing that.
Really?
But I'd let it cruise about 75.
Hey, man.
Oh, yeah. Rock and roll. Yeah.
Let's live a
Gotta
little,
get there.
huh?
Gotta get there.
Put on
Let's
some
go.
AC/DC and cut it up.
Yeah. Hold the steering wheel, grate the cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you listen to while you're in there?
Oh, all different kinds of shit. There's some Clandonia music that I listen to. It's Irish,
Yeah?
and it's bagpipes and drums,
Oh, wow.
and that'll get you shit pumped because you're driving, and it just, it'll get you hyped up where you're really seriously going. It's like
Clandonium, it's called?
yeah, Clandonia.
Clandonia?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's straight up Irish. And it's like the Titanic music that I listen to when they're in the lower deck
Oh, yeah.
and they're partying. It's kind of like that, but it's basically just drums and bagpipes. Now,
Damn, you're
I
like damn
listening
William
to that.
Wallace out there then.
Yeah, yeah. And the truck is my sword.
Yeah. Do you keep a weapon on you?
Yeah, I got some OC spray for my son.
Okay.
Yeah, and a hammer works really well.
Okay.
Guns, no. We could have one, but I don't really want it personally in the company truck.
Yeah.
Our boss is pretty lenient about it, but he's not like giving us the okay. It's like you can protect yourself, but I don't really want to know about it.
Okay.
And he's a good guy, so.
Here's a fella right here that also owns an animal, and they got a question.
Oh, animals.
Hey yo, what up Theo? What up guest? My question is there equivalent male lot lizards for female truckers? Anyway, gang bruh.
Gang, baby, that's a great question. Yeah, how much sensuality is out there on the pavement?
Lot.
Really?
Yes. There's a couple of places in Indiana that's way up north.
Mm-hmm.
Way up north. There's a truck stop that's really bad about it. And they will just pound the shit out of your door.
And they're men?
Women.
Women.
Mostly women.
And they're showing up for sex.
Yeah. No, I ain't sticking my head out that curtain.
Yeah.
Because if it happens to be a man, I really don't want them knowing that there's a woman in the truck.
Right.
So I just keep to myself back there.
Will you do a man's voice or something? It's like,
I've done
hey.
that. Fuck off.
Yeah.
That's
pretty good.
yeah.
Pretty good.
Or, fuck off, And it'll work. You just keep the lights off.
Yeah.
And you don't let them know that you're, prancing around in there. You just don't make yourself known. You just try to keep to yourself, keep the doors locked.
So you feel pretty safe once you're locked up and everything's locked down for the night. You feel pretty safe in there.
Yeah, the riots had me scared, though.
Yeah.
Because I was worried about, the busting of the windshield, the busting of the side windows. Because then they can climb right in.
Yeah, and the sad thing is every time you see one of those riot videos, they're always stopping a rig,
Yeah, and I've seen them pull the drivers out of there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's scary. And the bosses told us what to do, if that ever happened. He's like, you pull up, you blow your horn. You let them know to get off. Mm-hmm. He's like, don't ever roll your windows down. Keep your doors locked. And he said, turn on your flashers. He said, you call the police on your headset, but you continuously keep moving. Do not stop. Mm. And if somebody's so stupid to stand in front of your truck and get squashed, then that's what's going to happen. If you stop, then you're setting yourself up to get hurt.
Yeah.
Even if they're just protesting, there are some of them that are out to just hurt you.
Some of them aren't out there protesting.
They don't want Black Lives Matter or any life matter.
Yeah.
This is totally, I want your shit in that truck.
Yeah. They want your life not to matter. Yeah.
Give me your money. I want your radio. I can get this. I can get that. And as your truck is just slowly rolling away and they're getting the crap beat out of you.
Yeah.
It's also getting stripped on the inside. And then, by the time you get back to it, half bleeding and dead, you're like, what the hell? You can't even drive back. Somebody get me. So that did spook me.
But that's a good plan, though. Flashers going, contact the police on the headset, and just keep it cruising.
Yeah. It's a low speed. You don't try to fly through like they're bowling pins,
Yeah.
Which you'd like to.
Oh,
just
dude.
Cartoons, watch them just fly left and right as you plow through.
Oh, man.
But-
I'd definitely take on some Antifa, son.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
run four they run 4 or 8 rigs through that park up there in Portland, and I think they'd have.
Did you ever see the video on the internet where the FedEx driver was, or it was UPS? I can't remember which, but it was when it first started the riots. This guy was climbing all over this truck, and it was threatening.
You bring that up, Sean?
And the FedEx truck took off, and the guy actually got pinned in the wheels as the truck's rolling. People are screaming for him to stop. Why would he stop? They were climbing all over him. There was like 20 people all over this truck.
It's interesting these days how suddenly you defend
it looked
yourself
like little
and you're the
kids
bad
on
guy.
a jungle gym. It was just
on YouTube, brother.
It was really scary, and I cried for the person that got rolled over. I did. I felt bad. It was a horrible video, but at the same time, I'd have done the same thing as that FedEx driver. Had to. You don't know what they would have done to him, to get his whatever he's carrying.
Yeah, I'm not dying. St. Louis man dies for being dragged by FedEx truck.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
They may have cut it because it was pretty violent. I don't know if they clipped it or not.
But yeah, man, you're doing your job. Somebody interferes because they have some social justice issue. What is FedEx? This is just thieves. This is just people stealing stuff. These people aren't about any. This isn't about anything.
Right. But I think this is pretty much it. But this was pretty sad. Dang. The guy got in. See how he's got the double trailers?
He got in between the two of them?
He got in between the two of them and got wedged in there. And he got drugged quite a ways before, the video
makes you
stopped.
wonder what your mindset is, because I've been in mindsets where I feel like I need to stand up for myself, where I feel like I need I want to act out for some sort of justice. But then also going in between two semi-trucks just doesn't seem like where I'm going to find any of that.
Right.
Thank you for enjoying this episode with this beautiful trucker. And I want to tell you something right now, that the holidays are upon us, and it's a good time to take care of yourself and others. And you want to communicate with people during the holidays. You don't have to be yelling down the street. You don't have to be writing a message in a bottle and throwing it in the sewer or throwing it out in the ravine or something. What I'm telling you about is Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile's best offer of the year is here. For a limited time, buy any 3-month plan and get 3 more months for free. That's 6 months for the cost of 3. By going online only and eliminating the traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile is passing those significant savings on to you. All Mint Mobile plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. And if you're not 100% satisfied, and that's full satisfaction, that's as much as you can get, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. You can keep your current phone. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. Why haven't you heard about this? Because you're just finding out about it. Why hasn't everybody done this? Because they are just finding out about it. For a limited time only, our listeners buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months free by going to mintmobile.com/THEO. That's mintmobile.com/Theo. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Theo. And I got to tell you right now, I'm looking for a home right now. And if you've seen on my Instagram story, you see me looking through something. I'll go look at anything, a lean-to, a 2-story, 1-story, half-story. Hell, I took a tour of a burning building the other day and almost leased it. But I have credit issues. I can't get I have a previous mortgage that I didn't make some payments on. I missed 2 payments. And they call it dings on your credit. My credit's all dinged up. Like a little, like a Chinese automobile. My thing's all jacked up. Thankfully, Bridge Credit Solutions is helping me. Bridge Credit Solutions. They are backed with a 100% money-back guarantee for any items that cannot be removed from your credit. You will not find that anywhere. You'll know exactly what you're paying for at the beginning of the repair. I reached out to Bridge. I know what they're repairing on my credit. If they can't do it, then I get my money back. There's no open-ended monthly fees. It's written in the contract what work is to be done and how much you're paying. You will need to have the Bridge credit report access prior to scheduling your audit. They cannot go over your credit report without this. Thankfully, it costs just $1 and can be found on the website by simply clicking on the services drop-down bar where you'll see Bridge report access. Bridge Credit Solutions is helping me so I can refinance, so I can get the mortgage. Bridge Credit Solutions prides itself on its lightning quick turnaround. That's right. You can feel free to call or text no matter the hour with whatever questions or concerns you may have. Simply go to bridgecreditsolutions.com/Theo. That's right. Go to bridgecreditsolutions.com/Theo and start repairing your credit today. The money you're going to save in the long term on those mortgage payments, you want to get the credit fixed now. And now back to the episode. Do you have you met any men out there? Now, will you be on apps dating men, meeting men in different cities? Like, do you have a couple of little songbirds out there that you let on the branch every now and then?
No, I got somebody at home, and you get approached by all different kinds of men out there for they'll use all different reasons to try to get your phone number.
Now, what is some of that? Take me through a little bit of that.
One of them is, hey, I like the trucks y'all are driving. Just tell me about your company. Are they hiring? Can I have their phone number? It's like, sure. So I write down Carn's number, give it to him and tell him to talk to Nick. He'll get you a job. We're always hiring.
And they don't call. They're not calling for that.
Oh, well, can I have your number to let you know how it's going? I said, hell no. What the fuck you want my number for?
Damn,
He's like, and that's exactly what he said.
That's what I would have said. Damn,
exact same thing. He jumped back just like, he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I was like, but what you need my number for? And he's like, well, I was just going to let you know how, the process is going. I said, they'll do that.
Damn.
Thank you very much.
You a shark on them. Now, do you hear any stories about there's places that's popular for swingers and stuff? Because I would imagine, here's what I'm saying is, if you're taking a spouse out there, if you're a man and you have a female sidekick with you, a wife, or whatever it is called, and I can't imagine y'all aren't doing swinging. And there's a lot of swinging out there in the Midwest, too, especially in Missouri.
Oh,
do you encounter any of that?
Hey, no.
I mean, do you hear any stories of it? Is there any?
No, actually, if there's mostly what I see is men that are single out there picking up the lot lizards.
Okay.
And they'll get what they want and then send them on their way. And then they stop to the next truck.
Is it usually sex? Is it blowjobbing? Is it oral sex? Do you know what it is out there?
I don't even know. I guess it would depend on the girl and how much money he wants to spend. You know. Ugh. But yeah.
Do you know the rates on any of it? How?
No, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Because it's literally like, you got to worry about them girls sometimes. Because I've been told that they can actually lay underneath your trailer. And as you're coming out to, say, if you're a man, you're standing out there taking a piss.
They cut your ankle.
They can cut you.
Cut you in the back of the ankle, like on Hostel.
And rob your ass, just like Hostel. And you got to watch them. I've watched them at night when I just pulled in and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's been raining. I'll see, it's actually raining. There's a woman walking around in a pair of shorts and high heels. And she's tapping on each door. Not? Well, it's dark. Can't really tell.
That helps.
But you see her, going from door to door to door to truck to truck to truck.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next thing you know, she disappears for about 20 minutes. And then she's out again. You'll see a light on in the truck. That's the dome. Then that's
that's the dome, all right.
I know what you're doing, And then she'll come out. But I've seen them walk around the trucks like they're looking for shit.
Right.
Or maybe they're going to disconnect something or pull something. You got to watch them because you don't know what they're doing.
Well, they have that famous documentary with Eileen Warnos where wasn't she killing truckers?
No, she actually was killing just random people that was picking her up.
Right.
She was prostituting herself out and just randomly picked out some dudes. And
do you see, is there any pimping or anything like going on out there? Do you see anything like that?
Do you know who's approached my trucks? My truck is usually men drivers. Other men drivers.
Just wanting to. Now, are they asking specifically for sex or just kind of flirting or just saying,
well,
hey?
I had a Bosnian guy. He told me he was from Bosnia. And he wanted to tell me how big and beautiful my boobs were.
Oh,
and I was like, okay, you know, hell.
Pretty cool. I mean,
And
first of all, that is nice.
It was in Maryland.
You know, I'll tell you this: if a lady came up to my window for no reason and said, "Hey, man, I like the size
Yeah.
of that,"
Well, this is kind of
cock,
scary. You know,
I'd be
you're a
fired.
girl
I'd
in
be-
the truck by yourself.
You're
you
right.
know,
My
yeah.
bad. You're right. So-
Anyways, he sticks his body halfway in my window.
Okay.
It's a beautiful day. I had the windows down, which is stupid. You don't do that.
So he put his head in the window.
His body was
Okay.
in the window.
Up to halfway.
Yeah, I'm standing there making up my bed, you know, just kind of gonna stretch out or watch TV.
Yeah, the window's open. It's nice
Nice,
out.
beautiful day. Next thing I know, I turn around and I was like, I screamed and I was like, you could get a shot like that, dude. What the fuck? Get out of my truck.
Damn.
And he's like,
Handsome
oh,
guy
hey.
or not?
It wasn't bad looking.
Now we're talking.
But it's a still.
Bring up Bosnia. Let me see where it is on the map, Sean.
Yeah, check it out.
Bring up an
Because I asked him if he was Russian and he got pissed at me.
Oh, yeah, they get upset.
He's like, oh, hell no, I'm not Russian.
Well, just wear a sign that says Bosnian then, dude. It's
Because
you know what I'm
I was
saying?
like,
We
well,
don't
where
know
are you
out here.
from? And he's like, Bosnia.
Yeah.
We hate Russians.
Yeah, they'll fight, man. They love to fight Russia.
Yeah.
Maybe Google Bosnian man outdoors, maybe.
But
or
yeah,
something.
he told me that if he would hate himself if he didn't tell me that he wanted to have a good time. I was like, roll on, Alabama. I ain't know.
Now,
No.
the
okay.
bearded guy. Look at him. Let's look at that guy down a little, third row.
No, I'll tell you what he looked like was
Okay.
more like the top roll up there and third guy. Not the same guy, but I mean, that's more like the picture.
Okay.
That's what he looked like.
Wow, handsome, kind of like you said, a little bit handsome.
He was okay.
Oh yeah,
But it was just too weird, man.
yeah, it's a bit of a heavy approach, you know.
You can't do the flake thing, you know. It's kind of flaky.
Yeah, you can't just peek in my window.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't a peak.
Is there? It wasn't a peek, huh?
It was not a peak. It was a full blown. Wow, I'm up in your truck. You got big, beautiful boobs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god. It's like I will hate myself if you not have sex with me in my truck.
Did he say that?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh,
He wanted
wow.
me to get out and have sex with him in his truck. I was like, get the
Damn.
hell out of here.
At least he really laid it out, you know.
I guess.
Exactly what he was wanting.
Yeah.
Because that's a tough thing. On this podcast, we try to encourage young men to like at least shoot their shot, you know. But that's kind of a shady way to do it.
Well, I'll tell you some funny stuff too about other episodes this way. We had I was doing a dedicated run, which is the same thing every day. And I was leaving from our shop, which is in Louisville, to Indianapolis UPS.
Okay.
And coming back, same thing every night. Well, started running into the same fella that in a car right up alongside of me, just grinning and a waving, you know, from his car. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I'm driving on, you know, next thing I know, he's blowing his horn. So I glance down and he's got his junk hanging out.
Oh wow.
Okay.
His penis, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Dear
Then he
God.
backs off. Okay. Then he comes back up alongside of me again. He's grinning even bigger this time.
Oh yeah.
His pants are down to his knees this time. Okay. Well, I'm sitting here just driving, you know, like literally wanting to put my hand next to my face, you know, and just kiss here. Because I'll slow down, you know, for them to speed up a little bit. Then they'll go back. And then they'll keep alongside of me the whole time, no matter what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of the traffic that's going on around us.
It's just you and them in the world, huh?
Right,
It's like y'all were slow dancing.
Right. I saw this guy 5 separate occasions,
Mm-hmm.
same stretch of 65 in Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
and I named him Jerk Off Jim.
Oh yeah. He's out there, huh?
He
Dang.
painted the steering wheel.
Did he?
Ooh, yes, he did.
What color?
The white.
Ooh. That body glaze, I bet. Yeah. Damn.
Nasty.
So now you could see his penis. Now, can you see from the from your
Oh,
perspective?
yeah, it's the perfect view.
You can see over to the driver's side.
I can see everything.
Wow.
Inside of a vehicle. A four-wheeler.
So if I'm driving, right, and I have my penis out,
Yes.
can you? And you're in a rig.
Yes.
How can you see my wiener? Can you see it from through the front window?
No, it's from the side, your side window, the passenger side.
So you can see from the passenger
Yeah,
from
if you're
where you
passing
are.
me,
Wow.
so you're passing me in the fast lane. I'm in the slow lane. It's 2-lane highway, like I-65 is
Yeah.
through Indiana. Yeah, I could see everything inside of your vehicle. Your back seat, front seat,
So
driver's
if
seat.
I put my penis out, you could see it.
I could see everything.
That's
I
awesome.
could almost count the hairs.
Oh wow.
Almost.
Hell yeah! Look,
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all had such good sights.
Oh, it's a
going
hell
on.
of a view. It's the upstairs view from seeing y'all from downstairs.
What about this? Do you see a lot of like oral sex going on between couples occasionally? I'm sure you see a little bit of that sometimes.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
But most of the time they're not like trying to ride
Show it
along.
off.
But you're right. They
Right.
just ride on down the road. And it's like, oh damn, did you see that? There ain't nobody in the truck with me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Have
But-
you ever had a guest in the truck, a male guest, or no?
I've had my oldest son with me once, and I had my daughter with me. She got to ride with me once, and I did have a team member from work, co-worker. We did team for 9 months, running back and forth to Miami, Florida twice a week.
And was that enjoyable? Or?
No, hell no, I hated it.
Really?
Yes.
Because y'all started to get on each other's nerves, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, I wanted to kill him.
Oh.
There's so many times that I almost left him at truck stops.
Oh, yeah.
And that's for you, Chris, if you ever listen to this.
Amen, Chris. That's what you
Chris,
get, son.
Chris Santana.
Yeah, smacking your fucking gums while you're eating.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Tell him about his toenails in the floor.
Oh,
His
come on.
body hair in the bed sheets.
Come on,
The
Chris.
piss bottle's rolling around.
He pee in a bottle?
Fuck yeah.
God.
Water bottle rolling around. There's 2 water bottles.
Oh, it breaks my heart.
Oh, it broke mine.
Oh.
I wanted to
And
break his
women,
neck.
y'all don't. So you guys ever pee in like a pan or something and leave
In
it
a
in
cup.
there? In a cup?
Yeah, but as you're driving down interstate, like if you're teaming,
Yeah.
and they're driving and you got to pee, that window goes down and out goes the piss and you keep the cup.
Amen. And what do you do with the cup? Just sign it and give it to
No,
somebody?
you stuff a paper towel down in it, put the little top back on, where
yeah.
the straw goes, and that way it keeps the smell down. You put it in a bag.
I like that.
Yeah. Sanitary reasons.
Little tricks of the trade you learn as you
Oh,
go,
yeah,
huh?
yeah.
We had a question that came in right here from some gentleman or this fella right here, this happy guy right here.
Hey, Theo. My name is Brooks, longtime listener from Florence, South Carolina. My question for your guest tonight is, we all know that truck stops are the mecca of the dark arts. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen go down at a truck stop? Thank you for everything you guys both do. Love you. Gang, gang.
Gang, brother, I'll tell you, I'll lead on this one.
Go ahead.
So I was going to college, and I did go. And I went from Louisiana, and I drove to Tucson, Arizona. And I had worked all summer, man, to save up some money. So I had me about $1,200 in cash. And I'd stayed up. I was doing uppers, gas station uppers, no doses, those,
Oh, yeah.
snorting whatever
Any
they
caffeine
sold.
pill you can get your hands on?
Oh, I was snorting it.
Yeah.
Dude, I did half a damn Mountain Dew Code Red.
Burn!
Oh, I did half of Mountain Dew Code Red straight through one of my nostrils. You know what I'm saying? I'll
gross.
fucking do it all. I'll
should've
do it
snorted a
all,
Red Bull.
shorty.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care. I'll do it all, you know? So anyway, so I'm up, man. I've been up for probably about 20 hours. And my car, I had this 84 some kind of car. I don't even know what it was. Didn't even matter, really. It was a piece of shit, but it would overheat. So about every maybe 150 miles, it got too hot. And so I had to pull over and wait about 40 minutes for it to go down. And then I had to wait for it to cool off so I could put the water in the radiator and then start back again. Well, I'd been up for fucking a day and a half, man. I wasn't doing real well. So I stopped at a truck stop in, I guess it was maybe Nevada. I'm not sure, or Arizona or West Texas, somewhere. But man, I had all my money, and I was like, I can't leave it in my car. Somebody could break in. I'll leave it on my person, right? So I took it, put it in my underpants, my cash, right? So I went into this gas station. I found a place somewhere upstairs. They had like this little lobby kind of place, and I just laid on a bench up there and just went to sleep. Well, I slept for probably about 40 minutes, and I forgot that I had my cash in my underpants. When I stood up, it just fell out my pant leg, and I lost all my money.
No, you didn't.
Lost it all, man.
Holy shit.
Then here's the shady part. Then you're wandering around a gas station for 2.5 hours asking people if they found $1,200 cash, right?
Oh, like they're going to tell you.
Hey, yeah, they're not. I'll tell you this.
Oh, sure.
None of them
Is it
are.
yours? Would you like to have it back?
None of them are
Not
going to tell you.
No.
And the worst part is they all think you're on drugs and shit.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like if you
You
found
looking for a piece of crack you dropped on the ground?
like, have you found $1,200 cash in here? And they're like, this dude is on fucking drugs.
Yeah. You want dope, man? Yeah.
Do you what have you run into out there? Have you seen anything wild? Is there anything going on out there?
I've seen fist fights over parking or fuel spots.
Really?
Yeah. Where they're in such a hurry, they get into an actual fist fight over getting fuel, who gets it first.
Damn.
I've actually gotten a screaming match with somebody once over that.
And how does that work? Because you're coming in at a certain angle, they're looping around or
No,
something?
what it is that you take your turns, just like you would at a, gas station. And the semi truck in front of you that's supposed to be getting fuel, there's nobody fueling. It's just sitting there idling. So I run in to go pay for a parking spot because all the free ones are taken. So you get a reserve spot. That's about $15 to $18.
Okay, so it's almost like a KOA campground, like you get your space.
You have to pay and park.
But there are some that are free.
Yes.
Interesting.
The ones that are free are the shittier spots in the back.
Right.
It's twisted and turned. It's hard to get to.
Out on the fucking rape trail out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And down there in the back, lower 40s, nosebleeds, where there's no light,
Yeah. Is there a lot of drug use out there? You see any of it? What are these guys on out there? I know some of them are probably doing pills
Drinking.
and uppers. Really?
Drinking. Yeah. I've smelt it. They come into truck stops and they walk past you and they smell like a brewery. But there are truck stops that sell beer. You wouldn't think that a Pilot, Flying J, Loves, or anything like that would actually sell liquor. But there are some that sell alcohol. And they could sit in there and get soused all they want in their truck. And as long as they're sober, I guess, by in the morning, they driving.
And what are you doing for food in there? Do you take food of your own? Do you stop and get stuff? What do you like?
Yeah, when I'm off on Saturday or Sunday, Monday maybe, Sunday and Monday, I'll go to Walmart, get everything I need, and put it in, stock up my truck, paper towels, food, drinks, water, everything, and load it all up in there, and then go on down the road. So if I get hungry, I can actually take everything out, make a sandwich, or I can stick things in the microwave, cook it. Yeah.
And if you're taking off, you're starting off on a haul, right?
Yeah.
What's the snacks you get out the gate? What's that gateway snack setup you like to,
Donuts.
Really? You start with a couple donuts,
Yeah,
huh?
donuts.
Damn, you
Powdered
going hard.
donuts.
Oh, they're good, huh?
Can't drink milk no more because I'm getting old and gut can't handle it. So
Yeah.
I get the lactose free, and it's like the cartons. Mm-hmm. And I'll just have that little knob and turn up the milk and, donut or two. Turn up the milk. Next thing you know, you've got this powder ring all over your face and you're wiping it off and it's all over your shirt.
Oh, yeah. They're like, oh, this lady parties. You show up and say, this lady parties.
This is good. I'm going to buy it up. Shit flying in. It's pretty cool. But there was a question in the guide asked what the most dangerous thing was.
Yeah.
I did get trust. There was a time when I was doing a pre-trip and it was early in the morning. Sun was out. It was bright, beautiful morning. And I was actually close to the truck stop, too. I wasn't way out in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like a bad joke, but it's really not. I had my hood open, checking all my fluids, checking my belts, everything that needed to be checked. Mm-hmm. Plus, I was still green at it, so it was taking me a while to make sure I'm actually probably over-checking.
Right, you're doing it all.
Right. Yeah. And here comes this Hispanic guy. Mm-hmm. He wants to know about how to unplug the E-logs in your truck. Mm-hmm. And I was telling him, you go inside of the storage door of your truck and open it. Sometimes you can unplug it. Well, can you come over here to the truck and show me? I was like, no. I just told you can go check it yourself.
Damn.
So I went on about my business, wiping stuff, checking. Here comes two white dudes. Where's your husband at? I was like, straight to it. I said, he's in there taking a shit, which I was in there by myself. I don't tell nobody that.
The fake shit husband trick.
Yeah, and he's like, really? Okay. They just stood there and they's talking amongst themselves. I started getting nervous. And after about 10 minutes, me ignoring them, the guy said, that must be one long shit. I said, he's probably just getting something to eat since he shit.
Yeah.
And he finally, they walked off.
Circle of life right there.
This black guy. A Milli Vanilli reject.
Oh, damn.
But he's a big dude.
Oof.
Big dude. Big, tall, 6'3", muscles.
He came in and helped you
He's
out?
got the long braids. He's got one braid hanging in the front. He's like, why don't you come over here and give a brother some love? And I was like, no. I said, I got a run to do. I'll drive a truck, And I put the hood down, latched him, and started walking over here to the driver's side, kind of a quick speed, and get in my seat. And go to grab the door to shut it. And he grabs hold of my wrist.
No way.
And he yanks. He yanks so hard that I used my feet and my other hand to hold myself in the truck. And he's like, come and give me some love. And when he yanked and I braced and caught myself, I yanked my wrist back and shut the door. And I was already trying to put it in gear before I'd even released the brakes. Like I'm really trying to take off, and the truck's like, because the brakes are still on. So I had to release them, took off, and trying to peel out of there on gravel in fourth gear, with the heavy truck. And it's
Slow
like,
as hell.
trying to take off. And I get down the road and get on the interstate and broke down and just like damn near cried.
Damn.
Because I just went limp. This guy just tried to yank me out of the truck. And it scared the shit out of me. So I texted on the e-logs, my company, Werner, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The guy just tried to pull me out and sent it. And they're like, be careful.
That's it. That's it, honey.
Yeah.
That's the world, baby. That's the world.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah.
All right.
So thanks for the advice.
I knew that.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, a lot of guys with those dreadlocks, they'll use them to tie you down. when
Oh,
they fuck you.
shit. I need to look like he could beat you with them.
Oh, yeah. I saw a black guy at the gym. He had 2 dreadlocks, and he was doing them like those like those. You gotta
These
be
were long
careful.
enough they could be used as lassos.
Oh, people do 'em.
People
People doing
get
wild
around
stuff.
the throat. Yeah.
It's risque out there, man.
Yeah, it is. It's scary.
It's French risk, baby. What else? Anything else coming over there, Sean?
What's up, Theo baby? This is your boy Jacob coming straight at you from Hillsboro, Oregon.
What's up, Jacob?
And I have just one question for your guest.
Yes,
and
sir.
that is, how the hell do you stay awake for some of your long haul drives? Because anytime I have to drive for 6+ hours, especially at night, boy, you know I'm going to start nodding off and having to pull over at those sketchy ass rest stops. So just, if you could let me know one of your secrets, bless up. I'd appreciate it. Gang, gang.
Amen. Yeah, what's the tricks there? Because what is the tricks?
Coffee, opening up the window as far down as it'll go, no matter how cold it is.
Really?
Yeah. Air conditioning in the face. I've actually slapped myself a couple of times.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
And I've took my fingertips and I'll sit there and tap the closed eyes to try to wake up. I've used cold washcloths on the eyes. Visine helps. Coffee. And getting out and walking. Stretching.
helps.
Yes. Yeah. Because you got to get your legs in a straight position and your ass falls numb.
Yeah.
So you got to get the blood flowing.
Does your
Yeah.
ass fall asleep after a while? when
Oh,
you
hell
drive?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't feel your butt crack. It's completely gone.
Oh, my God.
Feels like one big giant pillow. It's like, wow. Who needs shocks?
Praise
I can't
God.
feel a thing. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even imagine us having that ghost ass feel,
Yeah.
This.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's AIS is what it's called.
It is?
Yeah. Ass in seat.
Really?
Yeah. It's when you don't stop. You run the whole thing.
Dang.
Except for your 30-minute break. I've done that before a few times.
What is now? Are there some outfits and some groups where they can just drive and they don't have to follow those rules? Do some people break the rules? Some people.
I think the only ones that can do that, I'm not positive, is like farm equipment. They don't have to have certain rules. I think they're allowed on and off the road, but they can't like travel long distances. But they don't have to have restrictions and endorsements, and they can just get on with their tractor, but get off, but no requirements.
What's a snack that you'll kind of wait to have? If you've been out there a while, what's a snack what's a snack that you won't have while you drive? Is there something you've had from the gas station where like, oh, this makes me sick, I'm not having this again?
Hot dogs.
Really?
Yeah. That's an instant enema. You want to eat a hot dog, take shit, there you go.
It's a risky move, huh?
Oh, yeah. You don't want to, and they're chili.
Oh.
Any place that serves their own cooked chili may smell good, may look good. It's really cold outside. Taking a bum yum, warm chili. Mm-hmm. Dude, that's like a lava just pouring out of a volcano.
Praise God. Oh.
Ass on fire.
Oh. My buddy had, yeah. We've all done some things.
Yeah.
Is there anything that makes who couldn't drive truck? Is there are there types of people that couldn't drive truck? What does it take to be a driver?
You got to want to drive.
Okay.
That's the first thing. If you don't like driving, any kind of driving that's in your own car or anything, then you ain't got no business in it. You have to have some patience because people are idiots out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's too many of them. And you got all the road rage. And you got to control your own road rage. But just anybody could drive if you wanted to. You know, if you wanted to bad enough and you just keep trying, you can do it. Takes a lot of studying, a lot of practice.
Really?
Yeah. Backing's hard.
Backing up.
To me, yeah. Some people are born with the, to just be
That
able to
backing
do
gene.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just gravy.
Yeah.
Eyes closed and get it right in
There's
there.
old backup Benny.
Yeah. Those there, I give the finger.
That's what I say, man.
Man, fuck 'em.
F them, bro.
I had to try. I had to practice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm better at it. I ain't gonna say I'm perfect at it. I never will be. There have days where I could back in a spot that's, super tight. And then there's other days that I can't back into a football field.
Yeah.
And I've heard that from other drivers too. Same thing.
Just kind of
have
whatever
your days.
vibe is, huh?
Yeah,
Have your days.
Yep.
What's the number one thing you got to remember while you're out there driving? I mean, is it safety? Is it patience? I mean, you said patience, but just trying to think if there's anything else that we're kind of missing out, any world that we're missing out on.
You have to have like 6 sets of eyeballs running all the time. And people don't understand what the truck consists about. That's a lot. It's the ignorance of the other people. They don't know how heavy it is. They don't know that we're getting over to avoid hitting somebody on the shoulder that's broke down. They think we're just cutting them off. It's like, get the hell out of my way. Nobody likes being behind them.
Right.
We're a little slower for a reason. Sometimes it is because of the weight, but then there's other times that we have to keep our distance further back than they do. They ride bumper to bumper in cars, and we have to stay back, which is 12 seconds at least.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
What about the headlights? Y'all use those to like notate things to each other?
Yeah. It's a code. Flipping headlights can, and especially during the day, can mean usually there's a police officer or DOT sitting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Could mean a wreck up the road. Flipping them seriously. Flipping. You come over the hill, there might be an accident down there. Or somebody pulled over, a lot of cops pulled over somebody on the side of the road. And it could mean high beams, basically. Turn your lights down. Well, I've got them LED lights. They're super strong. And they're like X-ray vision.
Yeah.
And I get headlighted, high beamed all the time. And I have to show them that I got, you want some high beam? Here you go. They are on low, damn it. What do you want me to do? What? There ain't nothing you can do about it.
Is it fun being out there by yourself sometimes?
Yeah.
Cruising?
Yes. I like looking around. I love the woods. And it's peaceful. There's times that I miss my family. I miss my kids, my grandbabies, my cat, But then there's times that it's like I can't wait after the weekend of being home. I'm ready to go back out.
Yeah.
I like driving the trucks. I like shifting gears. Feel like King Kong on the road sometimes.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
I guess it does give you a feeling of power out there.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And you got control too. Because you can, if you have to hold your own lane and you have to stay where you're at because you cannot change lanes to help somebody that's getting off the ramp, every now and then it's gratifying when somebody actually has to stop and let me go. I don't have to stop for you. I'm just going to keep on rolling. Fuck you.
Amen.
Actually had a cop try to pass me on a ramp, which was ridiculous. It's like the worst thing ever. And it was a police officer. And I'm in the slow lane. Traffic's pretty heavy. There's a lot of traffic coming off the ramp, getting onto the interstate. So I move over into the middle lane. Mm-hmm. I'm keeping up with traffic, and they're moving all pretty slow because they're just getting on. So I kindly start to pass them. There's still just a tiny bit of ramp left because I let them all go on about their business.
Yep.
I get back over in the slow lane, and I just, out of the corner of my eye, just happen to glance over in my side mirror. There's a freaking cop that's running alongside of me, and he's running out of road, and it's like him getting squashed between me and a guardrail. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he ends up backing off because I held my own. I was like, piss on you.
Yeah.
I'm where I'm supposed to be. I don't know what the hell you're doing. But he ended up backing off, got behind me, and then ended up into the hammer lane.
He was scooting on, huh?
Yeah, and then rolled on down the road, and I was like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Amen.
Yeah.
Do you feel like I bet there's a lot, are there some murderers? You feel like you ever have met a murderer out there? Because I bet there's a lot of murderers in
You
the
probably have.
trucking
and not
industry.
know it. Because I've heard about that. There was a truck driver that I heard about that was picking up hitchhikers and stuff, lot lizards or whatever, and chaining them inside of the cab of his truck.
Mm.
Yeah.
And they
Leaving
caught him, or
bodies.
who knows?
Yeah, they caught him. They caught him.
But it's definitely a job that really, you're just stopping by. You're
You
always
have to
leaving.
be careful. It's like I said, I walk around there with this look on my face, like I'm going to kill somebody.
I like that.
You have to, because you can't be.
Yeah. Hey, come kill me.
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
weak. Hi.
Yeah.
Because that's automatic red flag for them. Oh, dumb bitch.
Yeah. Let's get this hoe.
But if you walk around and you got that hammer that you just thump tires with and you look like you're going to crack somebody's skull with it,
Amen.
people won't bother you, so they leave you alone.
If you stir in your coffee with a fucking hammer or ice
I'll use my pocket knife.
Yeah.
Lick the blade clean,
What other jobs did you have over the years? Anything else that really stood out?
Yeah, before I ever started driving, I've done a little bit of everything. I've shoveled some gravel. I've worked in motels. I've gas stations. I've had all different kinds of just odd, meaningless jobs that wasn't going to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Then they offered me a grant that was free because I was on food stamps, welfare. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, well, what's the grant consist about? What is it? She's like, well, you have to pick up a high-paying profession, something that's in demand. She said, you got nursing or trucking. And nursing's an okay thing, but
Yeah.
I don't like people being hurt. I get too tender. So, well, I've always wanted to drive. So she's like, well, we'll give you $5,000 that you don't have to pay back, but you have to graduate.
Damn, that's
You
a good
can't
deal.
fail. Yeah, I was top 97% of my class.
Dude, that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, I was the only girl.
Were you?
That was even more, yeah. I was the only female.
And dang, so yeah, I guess I would just think if I'm a trucker and I see a female come through, I'm gonna holler at her.
Oh, they
And
were
some
so
of it's
nice.
nature.
The whole damn class was just, and most of them were black, but I loved my whole class.
That's cool.
I like all different, people, so I get along with everybody.
Did they have a fake rig, a simulator you would try at first, or no? They don't have that.
No, they gave us these junky little day cabs that we start off, just doing the backing up moves, which is alley docking and straight line backing and parallel parking, which you don't have to do. But they teach you the basics. And then she owned her own 2 Peterbilts.
Wow.
And she would let the classmates take those out with the trainers. Trainers would take off. We'd get to a certain spot.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'd let one of the students do some driving. And we'd all take turns. It'd be like 5 to a truck. And we'd all take turns. And I shifted like I was in NASCAR.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, 55 in like 5 seconds. We're good. Yeah.
And what about this might be the last question I have. What about your first kiss? You remember your first kiss or no?
Yes, I do. I was 14 years old.
Damn, girl.
Yeah.
Who was
Head
he?
over heels with the town punk.
Was he? What made him a
Yes.
punk, kind of? What was that?
Oh, he quit school.
Oh, yeah?
Did drugs,
That'll do
drinking.
it,
He was
yes.
18. I was 14.
Yeah.
Let's see. He'd sneak at the bus stop to meet me. My mother, she actually introduced me to him.
Your mom did?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
They were both from Our Lady of Peace.
Yeah, I bet they were.
Yeah.
Our Lady a piece of ass, bro.
Well, you know what Our
I'm
Lady of
saying?
Peace is?
The church, right?
It's a mental hospital.
Oh, damn.
For
bro. Well, they
yes,
changed by the time they
problem-
got to our
Mom
town.
had a nervous breakdown. The guy went in for drugs. They met. Well, when they met, my mother comes out when she finally got, I guess what you would call normal. She comes out and she's like, I met this guy, said he knows you and he's so nice, he's so sweet, and he's so good looking. Well, I ended up meeting the dude. Later on down the road when I found out he was a fruit, just nuttier than shit. So
He's out there, huh?
yeah, he was bad news. Yeah,
But that was the first kiss,
he was
huh?
damn, he was good looking.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh
Who,
yeah.
Who'd he look like?
He was dark complected. He had brown eyes, brown hair, tall, thin, has 6-pack.
Damn.
Very nice, very nice. His mom and dad was Romeo and Lee. They were really good people.
That were their parents' names?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool names.
Romeo was his dad. Lee was his mother.
Damn, Romeo's a dope name, really. They had a rapper that kind of stole it from everybody, but I feel like it should be coming back. I wouldn't mind having a little kid named Romeo.
Yeah.
What was your first concert you ever went to? You remember?
Oh, yes, I do. Ozzy Osbourne and Motley Crue.
Damn, that's a good one.
It was Bark at the Moon and Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil.
Damn.
It was at the old Cardinal Stadium in Louisville.
The Busch Stadium? No, that was before that, huh?
It was the Cardinal Stadium, the outdoors. Y'all have heard of the Yum Center, and it's the new stadium that Louisville has built.
This it right here?
Yeah, that's the old one right there, because it was outside, and the Motley Crue and Ozzy Osbourne concert was outdoors in the stadium. It was excellent.
It was?
Yes. And I don't remember a lot of it.
Amen.
But what I do, yeah.
What were y'all on, drugs or just drinking?
Weed.
Oh, yeah.
I was 14, so I was pretty green to everything. I had never actually done anything up until I was 14.
Yeah.
So first thing I ever tried was smoking pot. And the guy, my first boyfriend, the Jim I was telling you about, we went together.
Oh, nice.
My mom and dad drops us off, right?
Unbelievable.
And I was all so excited, and I saw Motley Crue. I was just, stoked and pumped, and we're just jamming, heads banging, and, the little thing going on, and, yeah. Then the next thing I know, it's like Ozzy's on, and I was like, well, what? I'm starting to get like all foggy head and shit, and can't remember hardly nothing, but every joint that he had brought had been smoked. Yeah, we were pretty toasty. Well, and I remember being up against the fence.
Oh, I bet, huh?
Like me and him sitting in the grass.
Oh, okay.
And it's pitch black outside, and I guess we was waiting for my mom and dad to pick us up.
Uh-huh.
That's why I guess we were there.
Oh, yeah, I bet, man.
But then I remember being in the car shortly after, and my dad always claimed that he was the one that could bust us if we'd been smoking pot, right?
And he couldn't.
Fuck no. My mom knew it every time. She was the one that didn't smoke. I found out later that my dad was the one that smoked.
Damn.
And it's like, you're too high to know that we're high.
That we're high.
She's the sober one that can tell.
Dude, I remember I went to Green Day concert one time. I was so high that I watched the opening band, and I thought that was Green Day. I sang all the Green Day songs.
You did?
100%. I sang every Green Day song that I knew. I heard it as they played it. I thought it was Green Day. It's over. I'm ready to leave. Asking my friends, are we ready to go? And then like, Green Day hasn't even performed yet. And my whole
Who was
world,
you jamming to in your own head? I mean, besides it being Green Day, who was actually playing?
I don't know. You want to look it up? Green Day tour 1994? 1995 maybe? I don't know. But damn, they were good, man. I'll say that.
You was doing some kind of something with hallucinogen in it.
That could have been it. Oh, dude, I remember.
It could have been Beethoven playing, and he thinks it's Green Day. Yeah, this is good jam, man.
I'll tell you this one, too. So at another, can you see who their opener was? Maybe if you see their tour history, maybe would that be it? Or I'm not sure. Yeah, there you go. Green Day tour history, maybe it'd be on there. 20, yeah, let's do 95 maybe. See if they played New Orleans. It doesn't say their opener though, does it? Yep, that was it right there. December 6th, dude.
Wow.
Other acts, the Riverdales, dude. I don't know who they were, but they sound just like they were just doing covers of Green Day, I think. The Riverdales,
Riverdales, okay. Alrighty then.
Damn, bro, I'll tell you this, they good, man. They were real good. And then here was the worst part. Another time I went to some concert, and I remember being high. Somebody laced a joint or just laced me. I think the Lord just laced me.
Been there, done that.
And damn, man, I hit a damn, I got so high, I remember thinking I was a raccoon for a couple minutes. And I found this man at the back of the thing, and I was feeling on his chest, and I thought he was in the war, and it was a cop. He had like a badge on. I remember feeling the badge. I'm like, were you in the war? I thought it was like a medal or something, And he's like, I'm a fucking cop, man. You need to take this bullshit into the bathroom. I was like, I think I'm dying. He goes, well, you need to fucking go die in the bathroom, son. So
he didn't care?
He said, you need to go
You
fucking
can't die here.
I mean, I've been feeling on his damn chest. I don't blame him, really. But I couldn't see. I thought it was a raccoon. I'm glad I didn't tell him I thought it was a raccoon. Because
he probably would have put a straitjacket on your ass.
I don't think people want to hear that. You know? But yeah, it was fun going to concerts, man. Did you ever up the ante on drugs? You ever got LSD was popular back then, huh?
I don't like it. I actually tried it just twice and only did a half a hit each time I tried it, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's just, I had weird things happen, and it wasn't that I was tripping. It was just something that odd. It's in the middle of summertime. First time I tried it, half a hit, and it's hot, and I'm standing on my friend's porch, and I look down, and just this random dog walks in front of me and barfs. But as he's barfing, he's backing up, and it's just kind of elongating out of his mouth, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know, what is this? You know, just didn't care for that. Then the second time I tried it with my brother and a friend of ours, Stephanie.
Oh, wow.
And it was just
Family
a half.
time. Yeah.
And we're driving down the road. We're in Shepherdsville, and we're coming around the corner where the stockyards are. And we saw this line of traffic ahead of us that's coming toward us. And we're like, what the hell? And we saw this. There's a guy on this horse. Mm-hmm. Is running full speed, coming toward us now we're on acid, okay?
Damn.
And there's a horse that's holding up all this traffic.
That's unique.
Well, as he's running full gallop, he's running. To us, it looks like the legs are flailing off like this as the horse is running. We're all three laughing so damn hard that we can't drive, so we actually had to pull over and sit there until we could catch our breath, run the snot off our nose and the eyes. And we're like, what the hell was we just looking at? Was that a guy on a horse? What the hell is that? And it just, how do you pick two times that you see a dog vomit and a guy on a horse in the middle of the fucking road?
Oh, look.
Rolling full speed. There ain't no cart back there. He's just gloomp, gloomp, like he's at the Kentucky Derby, you know, on the interstate. It's like, what the hell?
Dude, that's God right there. I'm telling you this because I remember one time being high on mushrooms or something. And we went to the gas station and all the ground just suddenly, all these little pieces of oil looked like they started running around everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, is that roaches? What is this? You know, it's just insane. And then we go inside and the guy said, as we're leaving, I swear to God, he goes, y'all be a little conscious by the pumps. We got a roach infestation by the pumps. And I'm like, and I'm just thinking, when has there ever been a roaches by a gas pump? Ever? Maybe one, you see one every now and then, but like a roach infestation? Just sometimes weird shit happens when you're on drugs and you're like, damn, this makes things so much.
Were they making Flocka or something?
Yeah, it could have been. It's like they made something so much weirder. But a dog barfing, that would fucking lose my mind, man. If you had advice or suggestions for any women who were thinking about getting into the trucking business or anything like that, was there any suggestions you'd offer to them?
Yes. Get plenty of sleep. Don't let the job run your life. You are the captain of your own ship. You know, when you are tired, stop. You know, if you want to shower, take a shower. You know, them kinds of things. You know, you want to do your job. You want to be out there on time, but you also want to stay human and be able to function. Because if you can't, then you don't need to be driving. And a lot of times you're getting pushed to get there. Do this one. Do this one. Do this one. You ain't done yet. You ain't done yet. Oh, by the way, you need to go here. You need to go there. And it's like, no, I have to sleep.
Yeah.
I have to have a shower. I got to get something to eat. You know, you can't ignore it. Or if you ignore yourself, you can't drive. It's just not worth it. And it ain't safe.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, man. Some of those same things in my own life right now, I've just been realizing I got to do more taking care of myself, you know?
Plus, you want to find a job that you actually like doing. You don't want to stay stuck driving and hate it. Because it ain't for you if you hate it. You know, and you have to keep your head turned all the time and watch behind your back. You know, I think if you help people, that eventually it'll come around to you eventually, sometime or another.
Yeah.
But karma is kind of cool to sit and watch if you just be patient and let it happen.
It's one cool thing I like about, I feel sorry when people die young and sometimes when they die early in their life because they don't get to, life really does have that full karma effect really in a lot of ways. You get to see things come back around and you're like, oh, wow.
When you see somebody cut you off, the ultimate on the road, this is like the prize winner, the big chicken dinner. If you see somebody cut you off or cut somebody else off, and then immediately following is these blue lights flying after that person, then you can sit there in that truck and laugh your ass off and point your finger and just be like, ha, 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 as you go down the road. Yeah, that's the revenge. That's the ultimate sweet revenge right there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Ginger, thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
We really appreciate it, and
thanks for asking me.
Yeah, it's an honor, and it's just cool to learn about the business and hear about some of the pros and cons of it, and just to see a woman out there working hard, getting it done.
Busting ass.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jonathan Kite, and welcome to Kite Club, a podcast where I'll be sharing thoughts on things like current events, stand-up stories, and 7 ways to pleasure your partner. The answer may shock you. Sometimes I'll interview my friends. Sometimes I won't. And as always, I'll be joined by the voices in my head.
You have 3 new voice messages.
A lot of people are talking about Kite Club. I've been talking about Kite Club for so long, longer than anybody else. So great. Hey, sweetheart, here's the deal. Anyone who doesn't listen to Kite Club is a dodgy bloody wanker. Do you know what I mean?
Hi, I'll take a quarter pounder with cheese and a McFlurry.
Sorry, sir, but our ice cream machine is broken.
No!
I think Tom Hanks just butt-dialed me. Anyway, first rule of Kite Club is tell everyone about Kite Club.
This episode is brought to you by Gray Block Pizza. Gray Block, for that pizza you need. This past weekend, it's Monday. And some of you guys might have recognized a little bit of that riff right there, and I wanted to get you guys a gift since I didn't get to talk to you on Valentine's, and that's that gift right there. And that's from Tiny Sandhu. And that's that magic man, that Pied Piper in the distance. You know, he's that he's that wild soldier who's just firing arrows at us, beautiful arrows from far away, and that's Tiny Sandhu. And he sent that to me on my inbox for Valentine's, and he said, give this to the people. And actually, I'll read the email right here. He said, hey, yo, sorry about the tardiness. Hope this shit get there in time. Just crank this out. And I decided to show some respect. Mr. John Mayer, 2, with a cover of his song, Another Kind of Green. And so that it is right there from Tiny Sandhu, from me to you right there. Let's hear one more time a little bit of that riff. And that sound, if you notice, it sounds a little bit like a pigeon trying to learn to swim a little bit if you listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Take that vibe in as you're hearing it. It's got that a little bit of that tinge of it's like somebody trying to jerk you off while you're trying to kind of hold your breath underwater. If that means anything to anyone, take that in while you hear it. You're trying to hold your breath and somebody trying to jerk you off a little. And now then he catapults. Listen to Tiny. He's going to take us up that staircase right here. Come on, Tiny. You could do it, Tiny. Get big. That's that Tiny Sandhu right there. Happy belated Valentine's and happy February 19th. And that last riff there by Tiny, man, he just, when he really blows up there at the end and he just lets it all hang out, it sounds like somebody just putting kind of just lukewarm caramel onto a baby's back. If you'll hear this one more time, take that in while you get this. There he comes in with that knife. He got that jar. And that's that creamy right there. And Tiny putting that creamy on that baby's back. Cream that baby up, boy. Put a little bit of chunky on his soft neck. He's spreading that sweet peanut butter, spreading that sweet caramel onto a baby right there. And that's that beautiful hitter right there from Tiny Sandhu. Good to be back with you guys. Sorry I didn't get a Thursday episode up, but you know what? That's how life does it. Had a crazy week. We're doing we got a pilot for Comedy Central, and I'm grateful. It's a digital series. They're putting us on the digital network. We're going to put it out there. And it's based on the podcast, so it's, it's young dudes, and young women, and even people that's, in the middle, people that's running that dual sex citizenship, people that's running both operating systems at the same time, transgender. Everybody's welcome on the show, and it's, but yeah, it's like helping people get tight. Because we all running a little bit loose. I'm coming to you from La Jolla. I'm down here in La Jolla, California. I just went for a run. I'm here at the La Jolla Comedy Store. I want to thank everybody that's come out. We've sold all the shows out so far. Just been 2 shows on Friday. We got 2 tomorrow. Down here with little Ehsan, and he is Middle Eastern. And we also have another gentleman named Jeremy Scipio, who is a young black gentleman. Both friends of mine. And Jeremy kind of has that syndrome where it's like a white man kind of stuck into a black man's body. And if you ever met a real, it's like if they had like Death of a Salesman, like Jeremy would play Willie Loman. He's got that, he's that briefcase brother. He's like that. But both very funny men. We've been having a good time. The show's already sold out for the rest of the weekend, hopefully. So I'm coming to you guys, and it's beautiful, man. The sun is hitting this bedroom right now. I just went for a run. Man, La Jolla, you go for a run out here. Everybody's beautiful. They got tits and ass, and, I saw a girl had a chin implant that was at least a fucking, a small B cup. I'm like, damn, that she got them chits, them chin tits, and she had them. And so there's just beauty running up and down. My goodness. You just see all of it, and people putting, slickener in their hair and gelling their bodies up and getting outside and letting people kind of see their skin. And you can see pets. Even the pets are fucking beautiful. Even the pets are damn. I think it was a Bichon or something, or an Australian Terrier, and that thing had some hips on it. to be honest. And I don't look at animals like that. I never have. But that thing had some hips on it. But good to be back, man. Good to be with you guys. I want to update you on a few things. We got the Hamster Rancher video. It's just been this past week, I didn't get time to rest. I booked too many comedy sets, and I was shooting the pilot all day, each day. And then I had to take a train down here to La Jolla. And, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be busy, but that lifestyle is fast. It's fast. And at the same time, I'm trying to keep my head above water. And I just last weekend, I forgot my medication at home. I don't know if anybody's ever been without their medication. But, man, you'll get bent out. The first day, if I don't take an antidepressant, the first day I'm okay. I don't notice it. But that second day, boy, they could have a bunch of birds outside, and all I'll hear like a, I'll hear like an angry crow. They'll have a bunch of sparrows chirping and doing the Lord's verbal diligence. But I'll hear like an angry crow, like half a mile away. And that's what sometimes being off the antidepressants does for me. Makes me all bent out. Makes me, just real on edge. Like I'm living on, my brain is living on an inline roller skate. Those inline roller skates where the wheels are in a row? It's like my brain is riding on one of those, and it's ready to it's just wobbling. It's wobbling. But so it took me a couple days, man. I had to regroup, and I just hit that run out here. I got that 4-mile hitter in, because one of my goals this year is to get that body pump. And some people, they like that old-fashioned body pump. You outside and, putting butter on the legs and pushing, going to prison just to, be able to work out, that old school kind of shit. But I like that. You go to the gym, you get that maybe 70-minute workout in, and you get that full body pump. I like my whole body to feel pumped up. Some people want that one muscle group. I want that whole body pump. I want to feel like my skin kind of lifted off the bone a little bit. I want to feel kind of light in the legs. I want to feel like, I want to feel my balls kind of bubbling up by the top of my sack. I want to feel that body pump. I want to feel that warmth. I want to feel it inside of me. So, yeah, I'm down here in La Jolla, and it's been good, and thank you guys for your support. Had a good time in Portland last week. Some people wrote in like, Theo, what happened in Portland? What was going on? And I didn't comment much on it, And then, I thought more about it, and I'm like, well, some things, I should comment on, and some things I shouldn't comment on. And I had a good experience at Harvey's. We had a lot of great people come out. A lot of people came out. I mean, I honestly, and I want to put some photos up. I probably had 10 people that came out. It was their first time ever at a comedy show. And that's pretty amazing, just to have that opportunity to be somebody's inaugural experience. But we just had an issue one night on the stage. It was I think it was the third show on Saturday or something. The MC was just going through a tough time, and he and I got into some differences backstage, and he just, he just said some offensive stuff, and then he brought me on the stage, and so it was just awkward, and I'm not. Look, I'll take responsibility. Like, I probably, could have been kinder to him off stage, maybe, or I could have recognized maybe if he was going through a tough time. I don't think I was as keen as I could have been. But yeah, so then it was just awkward. So this dude's like, F-bomb this, F this guy, fuck Theo, blah, blah, blah. Then I got to come out and perform. So it was the strangest thing I've ever been through. I've never had an issue at any comedy club I've ever been to in my life, ever. I'm trying to think of one issue that I've had. Maybe, people in the audience being wild. One lady bought a snake one time down near El Paso. One lady bought a rattler and let that bitch loose because it was her birthday or something, or her brother's quinceañera or something, and they setting it off and they let a rattler loose at that club. But outside of that, I've never been involved in anything at a comedy club. You know, one time, actually a long, long time ago, me and a gentleman did get into an argument. He was in the audience. And I got into the crowd and had to choke him down a little. You know, give him that light choke, bruh. You know, give him that fucking hard scarf, you know. And the problem was, while we're sitting there wrestling on the ground, I had the microphone with me the whole time. So we're arguing, fighting, rolling around, and the whole audience can hear every little part of it, you know. Even to the point where, you know, when you like, you know, when a fight stalls out and the two dudes are just like, let me go. You let me go. I'll let you go. Let go of my hair. You let go of my hair. Let go of my, all right, 1, 2, 3, boom, right? And then everybody lets go. The audience was listening to all of that up close because I had the microphone right there with me. So, man, by the time we stood up from that, the audience was howling because it was like they were behind the scenes on a fight, you know? They were behind the scenes on a fight. So, but yeah, that was the thing. The guy was like, fuck you, you know, Theo's a fucking asshole. And he brought me up. And it was just, you know, and I didn't say anything on stage. And I just didn't want the crowd to feel uncomfortable because it was really uncomfortable, you know. And I know the guy's probably going through, you know, the dude had, you know, he hadn't been having a good weekend at all. And he was, you know, he was opening up the show, and I'd asked him not to use profanity at the front of the show because, you know, I drop some. And you know, one of the rules in comedy is if you're too blue up front, then it doesn't leave room for the dude at the end to be blue, you know? Like if the first guy drops a bunch of F-bombs, then, you know, the crowd might not be ready for all that. And so it just can make it tricky out of the gate. So anyhow, that was the situation. Am I blaming the dude? You know, no, I'm not. But here's the crazy part. The club left him in the building. So here's a dude that was like threatening me and then brings me up on stage. And then the club just is serving him booze the whole time and left him in the building. So then he brings me off stage at the end. So when I get off stage, he's coming back up. And I'm thinking, does this dude want to wrestle? You know, does this dude have a dagger? You know, is he going to try to, you know, do we have a syringe of bleach and he's going to try to get me in the neck? You know, is he going to try to give me that ultimate white neck? So it was just poorly run. You know, I will say that. And the people that booked me and everything were cool, but it was poorly run. And so I want to apologize to my fans that came out and were in an environment that they felt was poorly run. Because, you know, I take responsibility for what my fans come out to see, you know. A lot of my fans are my friends. So I take responsibility for what they come out to see. And if they come out to a show and the MC, the dude who's, you know, is yelling, fuck this dude, you know, I'll fuck him up, all of this shit. And the club's letting them stay in the building because they're not paying attention to their own stage because they just worried about whatever else. Then you know what? It's not a fair way to treat somebody. And it's not a fair way to treat audience members. And I feel like at that point, I'm like, and I'm not whining about it. You know, it's like, you know, the dude was going through a tough time. I get it, man. We all go through tough stuff, you know, and I'm not even generally mad at the guy. I'm really not, you know, I've been there, you know, I've had a lot of anger. You know, and I'll admit I had some part in it. I probably could have handled myself a little bit better with the guy, you know, recognize he was going through things. But the club that leaves a dude in there, that wasn't cool. It wasn't cool. So outside of that, I think most of the people that came out, we had a great experience. You know, and that was that. But everybody's been asking. And so, you know, I wanted to comment on it. I'm not saying don't go back to the club. I'm not saying that they're not a good place. But I'll say that it was the most awkward experience I've ever had at a club over the weekend. I will say that, you know. Anyhow, what else, man? Let's get into what else. I got that body pumping. And I'm down here in La Jolla. You know, one of the things that happened to me sometimes, this used to happen a lot when I was on the road. You know, you'll get a couple of Muppets that'll reach out trying to catch that meat, you know. You know, you get some ladies you haven't talked to in a while and they hollering at daddy. They see daddy's name on a sign, they dropping, you know, a text, you know. Remember this? I met you, you know, 6 years ago behind the Mexican grill. You know, remember this? You know, you used to know my girl Janet. You know, we met up by we all went over to the park and we're on a swing set drinking liquor. You remember this? You know, it's like, you got to fend some of that off. You know, I notice as I get in this zone, I got to get a little more focused on my shows, man. You know, now when I was a little bit younger, I'd be out there, and a lot of these ladies whistling at this meat. And a lot of ladies trying to catch this hit of ham in their jaw. But now I'm trying to stay focused. I got my eye on the prize. And I just put an orange slice in my mouth. And I'm sorry, I know people don't like to hear people eat, but I just put a beautiful little orange slice in my mouth. And goddamn, that thing was beautiful. I mean, I love oranges. Now, some of y'all know, my brother used to eat a lot of oranges when we were children. And I remember watching him eat oranges. And I just remember thinking, man, that boy, he's got it made, you know. Because I was the environment where, like, one of your siblings would go off and get something and then bring it back just for them. Nobody was bringing back 2 oranges. So you'd be like, damn, this motherfucker got an orange, huh? It'd be Christmas and you're like, damn, look at this bitch with that Christmas orange. And you'd watch him eat that thing. And you'd watch him, rip into the shell of that thing, that orange shell, and just see some of that skeet just fly out that orange, you know? And that's just the Lord's backwash flying out of that thing. I'm just saying, oh man, you try to catch it in your mouth in the air because you knew that was all you were going to get. And you sit there and watch your sibling eat something thinking maybe they give you that last piece. You remember that? Be like, damn, he down to 2 slices left on this orange. Oh, I know one of these gotta be for me. And fucking nothing, bro. Nothing, man. Those are the old days, man. Those were the old days. But yeah, what else, man? I'm down here in La Jolla. It's beautiful. If you haven't been to La Jolla and you want to go to a good place, a lot of people come out to Los Angeles and stuff to, do holidays. Get that La Jolla in. This thing's fire, man. This thing is fire. And, I didn't chime in over Valentine's, and I just want to express my love, man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for all your love and support. We had a call come in about Valentine's. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into, we had a call come in from, somebody considering adult sexual prostitution, maybe light prostitution, service work. We're going to get into that. We're going to discuss what state would win if all the states went to war, which could happen. Which state's going to win it all? That's what I want to know. And I got some ideas, and I know you guys do too. Some of you guys hit the hotline. And as always, if you have any thoughts or comments from this week's episode, you can hit the hotline 985-664-9503 and comment on whatever we have going on. I want to let you guys know that's it. Let's go, man. Let's get into it. This was a call that we had come in about Valentine's. Here we go.
Theo, it's your boy Scotty J down in West Palm.
Scotty J down in West Palm. And I have spent time down in West Palm. And last time I was there, I won about $800 at the casino there, at the Hard Rock Casino. And also, one of the first girls I ever met off of Tinder, I met down there in West Palm. And she ended up getting married years later. Onward.
I wanted to give you my story about how I almost died on Valentine's Day back.
Love hurts, brother. You almost died on Valentine's Day? Love hurts, man. That's a fact, Scotty. That's a fact. Onward.
Died on Valentine's Day back in 3rd grade. So I was getting a piggyback ride for one of my homies in school. This bigger black kid named Jason.
Whoa. And right there, I'm going to stop you, man. I mean, piggyback ride, probably the least safest form of travel after Greyhound bus. You got Greyhound bus, and then I think you go to piggyback ride. It's like, you got Greyhound bus, and you go to piggyback ride, man. So this is already out the gate is dangerous. You riding on a brother. Onward.
I said let go. He didn't hear me. I let my hands go. He didn't let my legs go, and I smacked the ever-living shit out of my head. The only thing I remember much of that day is waking up in the nurse's office and then them telling me to ride my bike home.
Okay, already got a couple issues in his Valentine's story. First of all, he heard you. He heard you say don't. He heard you say let go. He didn't want to let go, man. Because the funnest thing to do when you're young is to have your boy struggle. And if he can, suddenly he giving you that reverse wheelbarrow, he giving you that dirty dancer, where he's just holding you, he got your legs up behind his rear waist and he's dragging your hair along the ground. He's giving you that free salon visit. He's just dragging your hair through the dirt. And next thing you know, your head hit the ground and you end up in a nursing office. Onward.
My brother told me I hit every garbage can on our street. And when I got home, I couldn't really speak much English. It sounded like a little bit of gibberish, and I couldn't open my hand to take the Advil from my mom. So she rushed me to the hospital, and when I got there, I threw up everywhere immediately walking in, and they took me right back and took care of me. So I guess the moral of the story would be, if you got to go to the emergency room, throw up as soon as you walk in. They got no choice but to take you.
It's not a bad thought. Puke as you enter. I mean, that could work for a lot of places. Your stepmother's house, your aunt-in-law, any of those places, man. Puke as you enter. So, yeah, man. I mean, honestly, it don't sound like that fucking bad, dude. People get murdered on Valentine's. People come home and find their spouse getting, holed out by a big brother, So, I don't know if this is that bad of a circumstance. You hurt your head in 3rd grade, brother. I mean, I appreciate the call. It's risky. Piggyback. One of the riskiest forms of travel, dude, and we all know that, man. And it's a gateway also to homosexuality. And I'm not saying homosexuality is bad or anything, but I'm just saying it could happen. It could happen. And that's it, man. That's what's up there. Dude, I'm running out on this beach. I can't even tell you how nice it is down here in Florida right now. Or La Jolla. I'm looking out and I just see, I see the trees and I see the beach and it literally looks like Florida. It looks like Florida, man. I don't want to get into it, but my heart and thoughts and and my love goes out to all the people dealing with the tragedy there in Florida, and I know that's a tough time, and it's tough to see that. And it's I don't know how you find the solution. It makes me want, I've never been a parent, but I just wonder how hard is it to know if your kids have guns. If your kids are not doing well, maybe it's just really hard to know. Because look, you can argue the gun thing all day. It would be great I'd love it if they didn't make any more guns. I'd love it if they made if they made a law a lot of times that we got enough guns. I'd like it if we went back to bow and arrows and see who's a real boss. I'd like that action sometimes. But even more so beyond that, it's just, how do we know if somebody's okay or not? How do we know if a dude's all right? Because everybody says, oh, we had that kid in our club. We had that guy in our, And I don't think the video games help either when you got these shoot 'em up type games, but I don't know if that influences people. I don't know. Oh, man, but it's just such a tragedy of just children going to school and then, and then they're going to heaven. And it's just disheartening. And then the media blows it all out. Now everything is it's a commentary on society, and it's a commentary on, immediately, it's a commentary on politics. And I wish somebody would shoot up one of these news networks. There you go. That'd be somebody with some real balls. But I feel horrible. Because imagine, a lot of these parents, they probably feel, as much as they don't want to, they probably feel some sadness also for the shooter. For the kid. Because obviously something was wrong with him. Obviously he was hurting. And I'm sure as a parent, you just don't want to see any child hurt. All right, man. I didn't mean to bring us into that hole right there, but it's a real thing. They didn't have that when I was young. I don't think. I mean, they had kids do guns. You know, they had one of my friends was playing Russian roulette. His brother was playing Russian roulette and accidentally killed himself. Another young man was had a gun out at a party and accidentally killed himself. You know, I mean, definitely when there's a gun in the room, I don't get I'm not the guy that gets comfortable. I'm the guy that usually leaves the room. If there's booze and guns in the room and you're not like in a hunting environment, I'm out. Because it's usually a knucklehead that brings a gun into that type of environment. But talking about that and talking about what's going on in these and making people mentally healthy. And then I wonder what factor of it is like, do humans even mean as much to other humans as they used to? You know, like is there something there where we're starting to just lose the human connection? Where you just look at other humans and you don't get that feeling that we're the same thing anymore or something. You know what I'm talking about? Something in the air, in the zeitgeist that we're not, that connectivity isn't there, that used to be there. I mean, you used to need humans. You know, there was a time when you needed humans for everything. And now you can kind of not need humans if you want. You can go a whole day and really not need any humans. You can just need machines. They even have something called life support. It's a machine. You could just be on that. You know, back in the day, if you wanted, some support, you had to go to an actual person, have them just, cheer you on, hold your hand, tell you they love you. Now they got a life support machine. So it's just maybe, times are changing. I don't know, man. It's just a lot. It's a lot if you let it be a lot, I guess. But I guess, what I try to do instead right now, I'm just trying to embrace what's going on, embrace, the things that are exciting. I got to ride down on that train yesterday. They had and I'm not going to say that this gentleman was a gay man, but he seemed predominantly gay. Kind of an older black gentleman dressed up. And he asked if he could sit on my lap. And look, I don't want a senior to not have a place to sit down. And I said, he goes, I know this is going to sound, crazy or surprising, but the train is so full. I was wondering if I could just just sit right here by you. But by me, he kind of lowered his buttocks and his, upper leg onto my leg. I'm like, that's not by me. I'm thinking that's on me. And so I was like, well, I'll get up. You can sit down. He's like, no, I don't want you to not to have a seat. We could probably make this work. It was just awkward, man. And then he when it was obvious that it was uncomfortable for me, he meandered down the train and found another man who was more willing to get into all of that. And but it was a nice ride. It was a good ride. So let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about if America was, because people are getting separated. You got to keep them separated. That's starting to happen. Because places are so different. Places live by different ideals and what means something to them. Things are getting separated. And I don't blame it. I don't think that the congruency that a lot of, there's this whole agenda kind of thing that pushes this, we're all equals, we're all the same, but it's not the reality. It's not the reality. And I think there's people that just want that. I think there's some people that believe in that, and they believe that in that because their perspective of the world is that we are all the same, and everything in their little world, it makes sense. And then I think there's other people, it's like, that's not what's going on. It's a great idea, but that's not what's going on. And I think people are, kind of getting back to or finding things that make them, will start to take pride in things that are more local. There's been more local news has been watched in the past year. Did you know that? And that hasn't been the case for probably 10 years. I'm sure it's been on the decline, maybe 20. People are just trying to get back to their roots a little bit, find things that are real to them, find things that they know are accurate in their life, and latch onto those a little bit more. And so that's why I think you could see the states. I think you could see an all-out state versus state war. And who would win? Where would that start? What would that even look like? What would that even look like? Would your state have a chance? What would that look like? We had a couple calls that came in, and I'm gonna pepper those in with my own thoughts and ideas. Let's start off with one of those. Here we go.
Hey, Theo. It's Chris calling from Waldo, Maine.
Waldo, Maine. And I'm sure everybody pull a Where's Waldo on it. And I dressed up like Where's Waldo one time for Halloween, more than one time, before everybody else did. You know, everybody got onto that shit for a while. I did that shit when I was in 8th grade. And my boy Tickly Todd drank some gasoline at the gas station. Because we were also on mushrooms and he had to go home early. Onward. Thanks for calling, Chris.
I'm just calling about your topic of the states going against each other in like a war scenario. And basically, my idea is Maine, my home state, would be most likely to be successful in this situation because of all the wholehearted people here, you know.
Okay, you saying Maine's going to be successful because of the wholehearted people? This isn't a bake-off, Chris. Okay, this isn't recipes aren't coming into play. This is a war, brother. This isn't who got the most pecans in their, in their basket. Wholeheartedness ain't going to help. This isn't who owns the most episodes of Little House on the Prairie on cassette. Let's hear more.
We have dairy farmers. We have lobstermen. We have everybody out here. So,
bro, y'all got milk and shellfish. Two of the most things that people are most allergic to. Dairy and shellfish. Y'all going to have gout and diarrhea, bruh, by the end of the first battle. Let's hear more.
So I once knew a lobsterman. He was fishing out there, and he was baiting the trap because there's bait bags that go in the lobster traps. And he broke his finger on that fishing boat. He drank himself a gallon, I think it was, or a half gallon of coffee brandy, and he was good to go. It's their medicine out here, so you give our war force a little bit of coffee brandy, some half and half milk from our strong dairy farmers, and I think, honestly, we would succeed.
Succeed at what? Succeed at seasickness? You just named one man who broke his finger trying to fish. So I got to say, out of the gate, Maine would be out. I've been up to Maine. It's a lot of people growing their own weed, arguing with the cops, and the cops are also at home growing their own weed. Okay, I spent some time off Islesboro Island out there, John Travolta country. Went and we had dinner with Kirstie Alley one time when I was a child. A friend of mine knew her. And I tried to finger bang a chick in an attic out there who I was in love with, and also hit a bat with like a vampire, not a vampire bat, but like a regular American bat with a tennis racket. So I've been through some shit out there. You know, Maine is just a bunch of unfinished houses, a lot of rainwater. I mean, it's good people. You got the Black Bears. That's y'all's state mascot for the state, for the college, University of Maine, I think. But I'm going to say this. I don't think you guys get out of that bracket, out of that northeastern bracket. No way. You guys would probably, y'all would escape to Canada out of the gate. I'm going to say that for Maine. You know, New Hampshire's right there with you guys. I think New Hampshire, I think most of y'all's force would probably be, I'm guessing, wholehearted lesbians. You know, you want to talk about wholehearted, I'm talking about that vitamin D, 100% milk fat lesbians. That would be a lot of that workforce, that war force out of New Hampshire. And I think that hamp right there I mean, here's the thing that Maine does have, though. Maine has a lot of people that are used to living in the woods. So you'd have that kind of militia style. But y'all are a lot of vegans, dude. A lot of people up there eating raspberries and, cultivated scabs, just bad granola. I don't think y'all going to have the energy to withstand. Y'all know about a lot of roots and stuff like that, so you could live in the woods for a while. So I'd say this, Maine would beat New Hampshire. I think you guys would probably struggle against Vermont. And Vermont and New Hampshire, let's be honest, they're really just the same thing to people. Okay, I know that, New Hampshire, I think, is John Irving country. He wrote a lot of those books, Cider House Rules. You got a lot of wrestlers and a lot of rich kids up there going to private schools and stuff like that. But the truth is, that's a great white north. A lot of people hopped up on syrup, sucking on trees, smoking dope. You know, you got the basketball team up there, the Catamounts. I don't think that's going to help. You know, they're super pale, way pale. You know, people look like they're allergic to the sun. I don't think anybody makes it out of that bracket. Now, I think then you get over to Massachusetts. And I think Connecticut would get their ass kicked by Rhode Island. I'm going to go with that if we're starting in this Northeast bracket. Connecticut doesn't have a shot. Connecticut's a lot of, you know, rich people. A lot of people from New York and stuff hiding their money out in Connecticut. They got these really fancy homes. They got these rolling hills outside of Hartford. You know, you got the British out there. It's basically British. It's a lot of people trying to pretend that they're not British, and they do look British. They got these little rock walls outside of their houses. It's fancy. It's richy rich. A lot of covered bridges out there. So I'll say this. Connecticut could stand back in these homes and protect themselves with some long-range weaponry. But let me say this, man. You get some boys out of Hartford. You give them a little bit of gas money. They take over that countryside, I think. And then they're going to, but Providence, I think, will whoop everybody's ass. Providence is wild. Providence is wild. I mean, I saw a dude one time in Providence. He was shaving, right? And he was thirsty. He cut his tongue with his razor and just took a sip of blood for his own thirst. And that's Providence. I saw a dude one time eat a paper bag, man, with mustard on the outside of it. Spicy mustard. And that's lunch. That ain't lunch to me, but that was lunch to him. And that's Providence out there. You know, people eating paperworks. So I think you probably have, you have Rhode Island sneak in, but there's just, you know, they might take Connecticut, but Massachusetts is going to take all of that. Massachusetts has them wild alcoholic boys out there in Amherst. A lot of alcoholism. You got Boston, these Patriot fans, and then what's going to happen? You can have New York. And New York City, man, it's not the same as it used to be. Let's be honest. You want to talk about a place that's low-key, secretly as gentrified as possible? We're talking about Manhattan. It's a lot of mookity-mooks over there, a lot of high rent. You know, Alphabet City down there on the Lower East Side is the only place you can even get a fucking good gram of dope or anything, or heroin, or even, you know, you can catch some good hookers or something here and there if you want it. But outside of that, New York City's, man, overall, it's not what it used to be. Now, you get out into the burbs, you got some stuff happening. You know, Williamsburg, Brooklyn, those people probably aren't going to fight. This ain't like the Newsies back in the day when Christian Bale and the boys would argue over, you know, the price of newspapers and what was being printed. These dudes nowadays, a lot of soft cats out there. So you can have a lot of dudes saying, you know, Williamsburg, like you'll read in Williamsburg, the graffiti in the bathroom, you'll read like, you know, Derek sucks dick. But only if he's okay with it. You know, you read shit like that. You're like, what? Who cares? It's just supposed to say Derek sucks dick. You know, it's not real. Nobody even knows who Derek is. It's not a real thing. It's graffiti. But they'll be trying to make too much peace. They'll be trying to make too much peace in a war. They won't realize it's called a war. And they'll be trying to do all this peace stuff and wear all these fancy sneakers. And I think New York is taken out. I think New York is taken out. New York City, I think they get taken out, though, by the real hitters. Rochester, Buffalo, Albany. They had a guy on a Greyhound bus out there outside of Albany, cut another man's head off at a rest area. Do you know the savageness have to be in someone to take another man's head off? With probably a not even decent blade. I can barely go pee at a rest area, and this man is doing upper body work? Okay. So I think New York is going to be going in strong, but it's going to be a lot of them real boys out of Buffalo, Rochester, you know, out of Binghamton. You know, it's going to be a lot of real boys coming up there out of Syracuse. Not the people that go to the college, but the people that live in the town. You know what I'm talking about. People with neck tattoos, a lot of blue breaths, a lot of real cats out there. A lot of people that got... you know, a lot of people that have tattoos of other family members on their body. Gang. So that's at Northeast. I think you got New York, but I think a lot of it. And then you got New York and Massachusetts. And I think New York gets that. New York gets that because they just have so many more little pockets of hidden people. In Boston, they tough. But also Boston's got a lot of, you know, hidden waspy, whatever, you know, fancy pants, it's a lot of, the gateway city of college, the river of colleges, all of this. It's a lot of mookity mooks. It's a lot of people who don't wash their own silverware. So I think that's what you're going to get right there, and you get New York that takes that region. So out of there, you got New York, predominantly upstate New York, taking that region. That's where I'm starting at. And that's what I'm going to pull out of that main conversation. Chris, I appreciate your call. Let's take another call right here. Here we go.
Hey, Theo, this is Ryan. And even though I'm from the state of Pennsylvania, I'm going to have to say Hawaii would probably win the war of the states, just due to the fact that they're so isolated from the rest of the country out, and they have the natural defense system of the ocean around them. And I doubt the other states would have like a developed Navy or Air Force, so they'd probably just be the last men standing, basically, because no one wants to go and fuck with them. And they could probably even negotiate with Kim Boy over in Korea and borrow some nukes maybe to use. So I'm going to have to go with Hawaii.
Wow. I didn't even think. Here's the crazy part, and I hate to say this. I'm not trying to be rude. I didn't even think about Hawaii. And the truth is probably nobody did. It's that secret state. It's that state where you get done counting them all, and you're like, damn, what did I forget? And it's Hawaii. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, it's probably getting a little dim in here. That's because the sun went down, and the lampage that I'm using in here isn't super solid. But if you're on audio, you're still good. Ryan, that's a great point. I appreciate that call. Yeah, Hawaii, you don't think about that. You guys have all the water. You guys are going to have military vessels that are going to be sitting out there. Now, New York, I didn't even give you guys credit. You'll have a little bit of that harbor, but to be able to access that harbor over there in New York, I mean, you're dealing with a lot of other you're dealing with, it's going to be tight over there on that East Coast getting out of that harbor. So I think that harbor ends up being kind of nullified over there on that upper East Coast. But Hawaii, yeah, it's a 4-hour flight from California. So yeah, Hawaii would probably become this, you guys would just be this safe place, I think, where the fight wouldn't come to there. And it would have to be if you guys wanted to go and get into the fight, and I don't think you would. And I think you guys would just be able to find some peace over there on your island, or divide into, go off into the separate islands, Kauai, and, certain people with certain beliefs and everything end up in those islands and defending their own territories. But that's a great point, man. Hawaii's going to tie no matter who it is. All right, let's get into another call here that came in. Here we go.
What's up, Theo? It's your boy Brian from Bonita Springs, Florida again.
Hey, Brian, thanks for calling in from Bonita Springs. And I've been down there one time. I don't remember what I was doing, but I also remember trying to make love to a woman that worked at what was that place called? It was a bakery. Baker's Rack? I'm not sure. Onward?
Man, I'm calling about if all the states started fighting each other in a war. Man, I want to say Florida would win, but we're out here sleeping. A lot of people, they're on them pills out here. So I really don't think Florida would even be in the top 20.
Oh, yeah, that's dilaudid country. You get out there in the mid-Florida, man, you don't even know. The candy machine got opioids in it. You give a kid a nickel and he comes back, he come back with a little handful of cinnamon opioids. So yeah, I think you do deal with some of that over there. Onward, let's hear more of your call.
I think Texas would have to win. And you know that's true. They got all them guns out there. Most of the people there are probably drunk on at least 16 beers. So they'd be running around, probably most of them wearing a cowboy hat.
Oh, that's speculation, man. And that's hat wear speculation and alcohol speculation. Let's hear more.
Got some spurs on the back of a pair of New Balances with a damn revolver on their hip. So I think they're probably already ready for a war.
Now, I'll agree with you there that I think I wouldn't be surprised if Texas might already be ready. Let's look at that southeast region. Let's take that into account really quick. Okay, so Florida, you think you guys might be too pilled up. But you have all those bays and outlets to water. You have all that water access. I think there would be a lot of interstate war in Florida before. That's the problem. Some of these states aren't on the same page enough. People from Miami, they're all going to leave and go back to whatever original country that they, came from, pretty much. Tampa, I mean, that's pirate country. So a lot of them are going to get their boats out and be ready to rock. So you can have that Navy right there out of Tampa. Orlando, those people are all going to fly back to their original states, because they're all down there they're all just Instagram and Disney. And then you'll have Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a bunch of hard hits. And I think a lot of Jacksonville, they might roll up to Atlanta and Georgia and join up with Atlanta. So I think you can have North Florida versus South Florida. And who's going to win that one? I mean, you have a lot of guns. Actually, from Pensacola to Jacksonville, I think you have a lot of guns. And I think a lot of those people might join forces. Now, Miami, if you've seen the first 48, they got a lot of guns in Miami. So I think Florida would implode. You would have too many people fighting amongst themselves. I think a lot of these northern cities, Pensacola, Panama City Beach, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, they would probably move off to join other cities. They'd move off to join Atlanta. They'd move off to join Mobile. And also some over to New Orleans. I think you'd have Tampa a fleet would leave, planning to go attack, but they would probably start drinking. A lot of Buccaneers fans, they got that cannon. And next thing you know, they would end up in New Orleans and join up with Louisiana. So Louisiana is going to have a little bit of an increased force. All right, now you got Atlanta. And a lot of this is where a lot of Civil War battles were fought. So you're going to have a lot of nostalgia. You're going to have a lot of people selling Civil War II artifacts and like autograph posters. Tonight speaking at the bar, we got the great-great-grandson of Robert E. Lee, or, we're playing Glory tonight and everybody come watch. It's a fundraiser. You're going to have a lot of that. Now, Nashville's pretty split. It's like liberal and conservative. So I think in places like that, you're going to have a lot of, dissension within the ranks. People that want to fight, people that don't. And it's going to be tough to really put together a good militia in some of those places. Alabama, those people are going to go have guns. I have a brother-in-law from Alabama, and he had on underwear one night, and he said, "How many guns do you think I have on me?" And he was wearing just underwear. And this man was bodily unattractive. He had kind of like cute ears a little bit, but bodily unattractive. And he had 2 guns on his person at the time. So that's what's going on there. That's gun country. Mississippi ain't gonna do shit, man. No disrespect, but they can't even win an SEC title, really. So they're not gonna make it pop. Atlanta could turn up. But Atlanta, if racial tension starts, I don't know if that's going to happen. If racial tension starts in Georgia between black and white, then it might get weird. If people are able to band together, then Georgia could be a real force. South Carolina, North Carolina, they would fight each other. And I think that they would cancel each other out. Because for some reason, they have so much just angst against each other, they wouldn't be able to make it out of there. Nashville, I think that they would implode. They got the mountains, though. So when you got those mountains, that gives you a really that high ground is crucial. And that's what's going to help Arkansas. But Arkansas, I think, they're still trying to get a lot of, I don't think, they're still trying to figure out who's family and who isn't family. And there's still too many domestic disputes over there. I think that they would end up fighting each other more. So coming out of that South, I think you're going to have New Orleans down there. But they're having so much fun down in New Orleans. A lot of the gunplay down there, a lot of the crime there is black on black. So you'd have to really, band together and get a good, black and white militia to band together, I think, for Louisiana to have a good shot. But I think Georgia's going to be your power player, Georgia or Alabama, coming out of that southeast region. And maybe Tennessee, but, I just don't know. Now, Texas, then we get over to Texas, and I'll tell you straight up, Texas is used to defending a border out of the gate. So they're going to have that ability out of the gate. Texas is used to defending a border. So they already have all that experience. Bang, bang. So that's going to be huge. Texas is a lot of hard-working, show-up men. And I don't care what ethnicity or anything, that shit doesn't matter as much in Texas. In Texas, it's about do your shit or get the fuck out of here. And so I think they're going to bring that style of play to this war. And I think out of the gate, that's going to whoop Louisiana's ass. They'll whoop Arkansas. There's actually a town called Texarkana, which is Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana. It's the corner of all three. And that town would just be called Texas Town because they're going to whoop ass. New Mexico, a lot of those people might head back to regular Mexico out of fear. So I think you got Texas going to whoop ass around there. Oklahoma's a lot of bad boys, and it's a lot of Native American people. So that, that's you're going to be dodging bullets and ducking arrows. That's going to be hard to do. But I think Texas does that. I think Texas really, really does that. Now over to this West Coast, and you got Arizona, Las Vegas, dude. Las Vegas, they're going to take all that money and run off. They're going to be gone. Nobody's defending that place. Nobody's even from there. Everybody's out of Nevada. Utah, they're going to be praying for everything to work out for everyone, and I think we will all need that. So I'm hopeful that they'll do that. Arizona, a fifth of that state is probably illegal, or maybe a 12th or something. And I'm not saying that to offend anybody. I used to live in Tucson, Arizona. I had a lot of friends there that were not legal citizens. So, whatever. But I think a lot of that group's going to leave. I don't think they're going to be able to hold it down. So then I think you have Texas and California. They're going to have to, really go toe-to-toe at some point. Washington and Oregon will probably refuse to fight. They'll probably try to, have a cook-off or do something more peaceful. Even though you have a lot of cowboys, you got a lot of bad boys out there. In eastern Washington and eastern Oregon, a lot of real deal cats. But I think that they're going to merge up in some other group. And they might band together out there in the hills of Idaho. So now you got men out there in the hills of Idaho, men and women. You got families just holding up out there. And I think that'll actually just become a group that won't fight as much as they will just start to take care of themselves. But then Texas is going to want a piece of California. Just because everybody wants a piece of it, but they're the closest ones. Now, California, man, they got a lot of hard heads coming out of San Francisco, out of Oakland, Hayward, Sacramento, the home of missing people. San Jose, one of the most peaceful communities. You got, Los Angeles. Everybody's going to leave Los Angeles and go back to either their home countries or their home cities. Nobody's defending that place. San Diego, a lot of the military's there, right? But that military is from other states. And a lot of that military they're gun owners, So a lot of those military, they're going to head back to their original states. So you got to factor them in elsewhere. That's why I think California folds. I don't think they have the chance. They have a ton of land. It would be some huge battles. But I think at some point you have Texas taking that whole southwestern border on the north side of Mexico. And man, and I think that, and let me look at the Midwest really quick. Wisconsin, cheese is a major ingredient. You can't fight on fucking queso. You're going to be all boweled up. You guys are going to be shitting in the woods. That could be very alarming. Also slow. A lot of them Wisconsin boys, they big, but they slow. But they can fight in the winter because they're used to being in the cold. Indiana, where the Ku Klux Klan started, a lot of violence out there in Indiana. I wouldn't be surprised to see them show up. Ohio, they're in the national championship almost every other year, so you're going to think they're going to put something together. I think Ohio beats Michigan. I know everybody from Michigan is going to say, fuck, no way they beat us. But they beat two of your football teams every year, Michigan and Michigan State. So let's don't pretend like it might not be possible. Ohio beats Michigan. Indiana, the problem with Indiana is a lot of their youth over there and like some of these colleges and stuff, there are a lot of transplants. Indiana University is a lot of transplants. So Ohio's going to take Indiana. You go to Ohio, taking Indiana. Missouri, a lot of swingers out there. A lot of people eating at the buffet, wiener and vagina. So I think Ohio takes that. You got the Dakotas, Minnesota could come down. Kansas, Colorado. Now, a lot of these men, they're living on land and prepared to defend themselves. But what does that look like if it really gets wild? I think a lot of those men, they would band together. I think there will be I think there'll be a faction over there in Colorado. So you'll have a group in Colorado. You'll have a group in Idaho up in those mountains. That's kind of that northeastern group. You'll have Texas, which is taking over to the southeastern border. You'll have Georgia. You'll have New York, which is a lot of upstaters, a lot of them business cats in the city. They're out. They ain't got the balls to fight, man. They just got the balls to do banking. And then you got that Midwest region. I think Ohio will come over. But that Midwest, they don't like each other so much that I don't know if they're going to be able to band together. So a lot of them might fizzle out. You know, Wisconsin, you got a lot of cats. Just, and they're so nice. Minnesota, nice. You can't win a war on nice. So I think they're going to fold. You know, Minnesota would like try and beat another place and then send like a get well card, which is sweet, but not in war. We're talking about war. The Dakotas, North Dakota, South Dakota, they get together, but who gives a fuck? That's still only about 70 people. And Mount Rushmore. But that's just, those 4 people are made out of stone. Doesn't count. So you got Kansas, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's some bad cats. Now, Oklahoma, I think you'll see Oklahoma band up with a faction there from the Northeast. So then that's what I think you got, man. I think you got Georgia. I think you got Texas. I think you got that upstate New York. They're going to roll through Philadelphia. Jersey. Nah, man, this ain't everybody doing test 200 in DECA. That shit ain't going to fly. It's not going to cut it. You guys are done. Delaware, they'll probably boat back to England. They're done. Maryland's thuggish, but Baltimore is drugged out. It's the Walking Dead, yo. So Baltimore, I think, will be under, even though they got that, but you have that Naval Military Academy. So if them boys choose to stand up and fight for that academy, you could have a real faction right there. So that's where I'm at. You know, that's where I'm at. And I'll finish that up on Thursday. I think I'll talk about it a little bit more about what is how does this play out? How does it finish out? You know, if you guys have some thoughts and you want to chime in, hit that hotline, 985-664-9503. But I feel like that's kind of where it's at. And to me, I've always kind of felt like Texas would take it. But now that I'm looking at some of the geography, I think you'll just end up with some separate groups here and there. And that would kind of become some of the new, America. And I didn't even think about Chicago. You know, I think Chicago is just going to be kind of this hub where a lot of, whoever wins that Midwest is going to take over Chicago. So whatever state that is. I mean, Illinois, they could do something. I don't know. What do you think? You think I'm crazy? Hawaii sitting out there on the outside? Man, you're making me want to move to Hawaii, that's for sure. That seems like the place to be. That seemed like the place to be, man. All right, let's take one more call here. Here we go. About this issue.
Hey, Theo. Tim here from Australia. Just thinking about who was going to win the war between all the states.
And Tim is from Australia, and it figures that Tim would be thinking about it because Australia, predominantly criminals, people doing crime, or people whose grandparents did crime. Because you had to do crime to end up in Australia. Let's hear more.
Now, you got to consider, numbers are obviously, the primary sort of driver here, so, and gun ownership and so on. So, Vermont, first to fall. The fighting men and women of Ben and Jerry's 3rd Division, they'll hold out for maybe a good 5 minutes, and they're out early.
Right, so Vermont's out early. They're going to be hopped up on dairy. Onward.
Montana, great fighters, yes. But only 1 million people up there, I think, something like that. They'll ride this one out in the hills. They'll come back afterwards, but they're not going to be on the podium. Louisiana, now low population, high gun ownership, good fighting disposition, and importantly, ocean access. Because this isn't just a land war. I mean, if you've got ocean access, you've got to use it. You're going to have your boats out there. I think your home state might do better than you think. Now we get to the big number states. And you're thinking, New York, California, squishy sort of, Hillary voting people. But, New York, a state is around 20 million, I think. California, 40 million. So even if you have a percentage of those people armed and willing to have a go, they might do better than you think.
That's a good point. That's a good point just based on sheer numbers. So say if you have just 25% of 20 million, and they're willing to fight, that's 4 or 5 million, I'm not sure, with guns. And if you put them up against Montana and you arm everyone, that's 5 million against 1 million. So those numbers are going to play a big issue. That's going to be a big deal. That's a really, really good point. That might have to make me reconsider some things. Onward.
Do better than you think. Also, ocean access. This is potentially a crucial aspect in the great United States War of 2018, 19, 20, however long it lasts. Then you get to the big dog here, Texas.
And that's true, because that ocean access, if you can get a group to sit out in the ocean, they can just shoot in at another group. They can bomb in, or they can just wait and let the fighting subside, which is what Ryan's talking about from Hawaii. Is just sitting out there eating pineapples and, touching each other's assholes, Let's hear more.
Million people, all the oil, all the resources, they can keep this battle up for a long, long time, and a civilian population armed and knowledgeable about weapons. Texas for mine, my friend.
And there you go. And then it's an Australian voting for Texas right there. And Australia had one fight, I think, a long time ago, and it was called Gallipoli. And there's a movie about it where Mel Gibson got in a fight with one of his cousins, I think. It wasn't a home video, I don't think. I think it was an actual film that you can see, and it was pretty good. But that's it. If you got some thoughts on who would take that next episode, who would take that, is there something I'm not thinking about one of these states? Because, look, you never know what can happen. Crazy things have happened. Could it happen? And that's another thing. Do you think there could be a state war looming? Am I crazy? Are you crazy? Hit that hotline, man, 985-664-9503. And we're going to get into a couple more calls about other topics right now. Some people called in. And I'm going to tell you guys, too, that I will be at Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, California this weekend, the 23rd and 24th of February. I'll be in Tacoma, March 15th and 16th, and Spokane, the 17th of March. I'll be in Oxnard, the 23rd and 24th and 25th of March. And then April, I'll be at Bananas Comedy in Hasbrook Heights, April 20th and 21st in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. And those are some of the dates that we have on the books right now. Some other things we'll be getting in. Oh, Tampa. I'll be in Tampa April 6th and 7th, and you can grab those tickets now. All those tickets are available through theovon.com/tour, TOUR. But yeah, there's probably a lot of tactical things that I don't understand, about war and fighting and that sort of thing. And I'd love to know if some people have things that I'm not even considering that would really affect the way that would all lay down. Let's take a couple more callers here, man. I appreciate you guys calling and hitting the hotline. And we will do a follow-up episode this Thursday where we kind of chime in, where we put some of you guys' calls into, just in the response to the states, the war of the states, and in response to some of this other activity and this and that. All right, praise God. Here we go.
Hey, Theo, just wanted to call and had a question for you because I'm struggling right now. My whole department got laid off last Friday, and I've been in the dark arts for a while, and for the last couple of years, since I got back from overseas, things have been good, but started off difficult, and now it's been going great. And now that I got laid off, and I feel that pull, and I was just wondering what you do in addition to talk to other people, who are like-minded.
Thanks for calling, man. Yeah, when you get in that tough situation, the dark arts seem to be, sometimes it's that first line of defense. It's like the first thing you think to do when things are going tough is to do something that's, not cavalier for yourself and not real positive. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard when I know, like, for example, if I feel like, I'm doing a good streak of no masturbation, no doing no masty. no doing no nasty. And then next thing you know, I find myself by myself and something happens. I have a bad show, or I don't get a job, or I don't get on the Tonight Show, or just something that makes me feel not good. Then I resort to, I'm just thinking, oh, fuck it, man. Life sucks. I'm a jerk off all over myself. And I'll get into that space. But when I find that those things don't happen as much, or when I don't choose to go into those dark art avenues, is when I'm with other people. If I spend time with people that I care about, then I notice that my brain doesn't go there. Instead, my brain will bring up the problem to somebody. Bring up the problem to a loved one or a friend or something. Say, hey man, this happened. And they'll be like, oh, everything's going to be okay. And the next thing you know, I get back to a comfortable square in my brain. Instead of living out there in that wild, dark art Tetris. Where the squares are just coming at you and you're just jerking off. So that's something that I find is spending time with others. Spending time with others. And there's other little things, and everybody does it different. People do meditations. People go for a walk. People do little things because usually that temptation arises and it'll just sit on you for a little bit. The temptation to act out, the temptation to, run around on your spouse, or the temptation, to flirt with a girl, the temptation to cause trouble, raise hell. That pull, that little pull inside of you. Oh, things didn't go well, I'm going to get fucked up. This didn't happen, I'm going to buy a couple grams of cocaine and fucking race rats out there outside of the city limits where you legally can. I'm going to make them choices. But that's just like about 30 seconds or 90 seconds that pull is there. And if you can ride out and you don't give in to that initial pull, usually things are fine. Usually you can get through it and get back to your regular brain. And your regular brain is, it sounds like one that's doing pretty good. Like you've had some good things going for yourself since you got back from service. But I appreciate your service, man, and I appreciate you calling in, Austin. Let's go another call right here. Here we go.
Hey, Theo. I kind of needed your input or opinion on the fact that I've been basically propositioned by wealthy men to enter in some sort of like relationship. Even before I turned 18, this has been going on, and I recently moved to LA. Okay,
so you got wealthy men throwing them bucks for them fucks. You got wealthy men offering that booty cash. They're trying to swipe that card between your ass cheeks. And it's popular, especially out here in Los Angeles. I think a lot of men also, there's this whole new side of that, where a lot of men are just in fear of being with a woman where there isn't a transaction, because then there's no clear terms of what's going on. It makes me wonder if prostitution, or if, legalization of prostitution might be on the looming on the horizon, because men are afraid to even, do regular sex or touch regular local cooter. I mean, I get nervous. I won't even jerk off in the city limits anymore. I drive outside of town and jerk off. If you see me jerking off out somewhere outside of town with a group of other men, it's not a gay thing. It's just straight men trying to just survive. That's all that is. I don't come locally usually if I can help it, because the risk reward is too much in Los Angeles. But I appreciate you calling, young lady. And you've been propositioned by these men, and let's hear more about it.
And the concentration of this sort of thing is at an all-time high. I don't know if it's like a curse or what, but it's something I've always been against, even when it came to pursuing my own aspirations and dreams, etc. It's just not something that I really believe in.
Okay, so it's not something you really believe in, slinging that canal out there to get ahead or to make a little bit of cash. Okay, let's hear more.
But right now, my entire family is in financial strain, going through a lot of hardships, and we've never been rich or anything like that, but it's just really hard to have every single member of my family going through this financial hardship. And then earlier today, my sister's dad was in a freak accident and in Puerto Rico.
Damn, Puerto Rico, and that's accident country. And if you ever had a friend, if you have a friend that's very accident prone, I think it's safe at this point to nickname him or her Puerto Rico, because they got bad moons rising over there, and they got that juju hitting the air and that voodoo, gripping the people onward.
They don't know if he's going to make it or not because that island still has no electricity, and it's just tragic because we don't even know how if my sister's going to get to go. It's just like a whole mess. And I've just been struggling with if, this whole, moral compass, and, I would never do such a thing. It's not necessarily me being selfless. I could have been struggling with this voice in my head telling me like, wow, you're not willing to sacrifice for your family. Because the amount of money that these gentlemen are offering me, it would make a substantial difference in my family's life.
Okay, and that's just where the call ends right there. That's it. Thank you for calling, young lady. And that's a conundrum. That's a conundrum. My first thought is no. You don't do that. But that, I think, is also an old idea. I think it's, I never had that, I got that decent dick, but I never had anything that people really wanted real heartily, and they was coming to pay for it. I never had that pay for dick. I've just had that, get it when they get it dick. And sex is a commodity. It's one of the biggest commodities out there. It's pushed constantly. In fact, as I was jogging today, I saw so many tits and asses and breasts and, you could see outlines of vulvas and you could see trimesters. You could see everything. And it made me think like, damn. Like when I was growing up, sex was what you were trying to get. And now, I don't even know if that's the case anymore. I think now sex is available, readily available. And what you're trying to get is something real, something tangible, something that, when you throw it down into your heart, it echoes. Something that that reverberates. And so, with that thought, look, if you got to get out there and do it, honey, you get out there and do it. I'm not going to be mad at you. There's women doing it for far less reasons. That's for sure. And there's women doing it for real reasons. And I know it's a tough world. I know it's a tough world. And I can't, I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I'd let one of these fancy producers maybe, when I first moved to town, put his thumb in my ass for probably, 30 grand or something. Maybe I would. I don't know. I didn't get that opportunity. I haven't gotten very many opportunities in Hollywood. But, it's sweet that you're thinking about it for your family. And I can't imagine what that's like to have family somewhere struggling. Your sister's father, that part seemed a little wild to me. Your sister's father, is that your father? If a tree fell on him or something, it's not your father. Let me hear that part again. Here we go.
Dreams, etc. It's just not something that I really believe in. But right now, my entire family is in financial strain, going through a lot of hardships, and we've never been rich or anything like that, but it's just really hard to have every single member of my family going through this financial hardship. And then earlier today, my sister's dad was in a freak accident, and in Puerto Rico, they don't know if he's going to make it or not because that island still has no electricity. And
your sister's dad? Yeah. Maybe I'm just getting, picky there with some of the facts and whatever. I'd like to see you try to find other ways to get through it. But these days, if it does, what does it mean to you? Does it mean a lot to you? Does sex mean a lot to you? If you don't, if it means a lot to you, then I think you find some other way to fight through it and get through it. If it doesn't mean anything to you, maybe that's the deal. And I don't say you get a broker or something, but I say you get out there and you get some good money. You know, it just seems like the things that are going to come along with that environment are what really scares me for you. You know, I mean, you know, women selling sex has been from the beginning of time. Everybody's selling sex in some form or another. You know, a lot of these makeup ads, there's billboards in Los Angeles that say sugar models on every other corner. You know, while the whole time there's this, you know, time's up movement, there's also this whole other movement where it's just, sex is just becoming an item for exchange. And maybe that's a safer place for it. You know, I don't know. I mean, I think this is just another big conversation kind of that, you know, are we in a different time now? Am I living by old ideals? What's going on? Am I out of touch that, you know, now it's like it's more about the other side of things, finding the connectivity, finding something that's real. When I was young, it was about catching that nut locker, you know, about finding a little lady that would let you, you know, hide your root up in that nut locker. And now it's changed, it seems like. Now it's more, you know, now it seems more like anybody can fuck, you know. You can, you know, get sex here or there, internet, wherever. What else? Can I get something that I can feel? So that's it. You know, and I don't know if that gives you some suggestions or not. Maybe some of our callers will have suggestions for that. And I think that that's a big topic. That's a big thought. That's a big idea. You know, what does she do? What would you recommend? You know, I mean, if this is my daughter, I'm going to say no. You know, if this is, you know, and people would even say, well, that's fucked up. If this is my sister, I'd say, but it's like, who am I to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what, you know, if it was my sister, I would help her out. I would get her out of those financial situations. You know, I would say, nah, we're not doing this shit. You know, so I guess when I put it like that to myself, that it's more family, then it makes me really question. You know, I don't know. I mean, I just wonder has it really gotten to that point where there's no other option? You know, is there another way that you can do it? Where maybe you try some of these other things. They have these different webcam sites where women are, you know, touching their vaginas and all of that and showing, you know, and flashing vulva and all of that. Showing tits and, you know, breastfeeding babies and everything on there for $30, $40 an hour. Maybe there's something like that available or some other avenues. I don't know. I mean, the thing with the sister in Puerto, like, what are you really going to do there? That's my, like, what's your, you know, what are you going to make a couple thousand? I mean, I know that can really help some instances, but how long does that last? In a huge case scenario with hospital bills, whatever, a weekend, an hour? You know, when does it, I just feel like, you're really getting into the dark arts and that there might be some better avenues. So I'd ask some other people. I'd ask some friends. I'd ask some, I'd ask around. And then I'd try and ask yourself, really, why? Why? You know, I know you've gotten propositioned, but I've been propositioned for things. You know, people want to sometimes get me in a ridiculous, television shows or this or that. I'm like, that shit isn't for me. You know, I have bigger thoughts or bigger, realms for myself. That realm, worlds that I want to live in. I got bigger circuses that I want to, fight lions in. But then I have friends that do pornography. And that's their world and they're great at it. So I don't want to knock what your world is, but I do want to knock on and bring attention to that you healthily consider what's going on. And considering something from a place of desperation usually isn't good. So that's what I would try and look at for yourself. Those are some of my thoughts, man. I'm sure a lot of our listeners have thoughts. If you have them, hit that hotline, 985-664-9503. I got another show tonight, so I got to actually cruise and do that. I'm sorry about that. I was just kind of getting comfortable into this episode. But I'd love to hear some of you guys' thoughts and information on some of these things. My heart goes out to anybody who had family and friends over there in Florida involved in that in the tragedy. It just, when people make fun of thoughts and prayers, I don't like that. Because what else am I going to do from where I am? I can vote certain ways. I can donate to things. But to think about something and pray about something, I think there's a lot of value in that as well. I mean, if the whole world stopped right now and was praying for something, imagine how nice the world would be. Nobody would be doing anything except hoping good for others. So, and you might be like, well, Theo, that's a really hopeful idea. And it is. I mean, that's not going to happen. But it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. You guys be good to yourselves, man. You probably deserve it. I'm going to take us out on this beautiful hit from Tiny Sandhu. Wasn't that nice of him to send that in? I mean, wasn't that really, really nice? Thank you, Tiny. And happy belated Valentine's to everybody. Man, if this state war happens, the war of the states, who's going to take it? Hit that hotline, 985-664-9503. That flip. Get that caramel out for that baby back. That's beautiful. This past weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jonathan Kite, and welcome to Kite Club, a podcast where I'll be sharing thoughts on things like current events, stand-up stories, and 7 ways to pleasure your partner. The answer may shock you. Sometimes I'll interview my friends. Sometimes I won't. And as always, I'll be joined by the voices in my head.
You have 3 new voice messages.
A lot of people are talking about Kite Club. I've been talking about Kite Club for so long, longer than anybody else. So great.
Hey, sweetheart, here's the deal. Anyone who doesn't listen to Kite Club is a dodgy bloody wanker. Do you know what I mean?
Hi, I'll take a quarter pounder with cheese and a McFlurry.
Sorry, sir, but our ice cream machine is broken.
No!
I think Tom Hanks just butt-dialed me. Anyway, first rule of Kite Club is tell everyone about Kite Club. Second rule of Kite Club is tell everyone about Kite Club. Third rule, like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts or watch us on YouTube, yeah? And yes, don't worry, my Brad Pitt impression will get better.